Hello, how you doing? This is me and Charlie, who is doing something which I suspect might involve sneakiness. Talking about what happened. But like, Resistance experience last weekend, the bands, the festival, the city, travel, all that shit. So let us know if you were there, what you liked, what you didn't like. Who we got? Let's all look at the chat. Rain, Shell, popping for some gossip. Okay. I can see Charlie. Oh, I can see Charlie in a thing. It looks like. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Something suspicious just coming in. No wonder she's like, I'm going to disappear off and just come back in when. Where's Shadow Blue when you need someone to be running around like a loon with his shark thing on? Well, I don't have my bell end button on this rig. It's only on my DJ rig. I suspect that this is because somebody is disappointed that they went a huge amount of effort to buy a inflatable shark suit and then didn't manage to catch Carcassaurus set.
Rain can hear me, but then, we have like a connection.
Off the background music. Now I can hear you fine.
I'm leaning this far forward. I'm leaning this far forward because I'm dealing with a shark leg situation. I got shark legs. Oh god.
Right.
So yeah, just to be absolutely clear, I was fucking devastated, genuinely devastated to have not made it to the Carcassaurus set on Friday night at Tans. Those lads are fucking legends, and I was so hyped to get to see them, and the prospect of not just shark content, because we all know how much we love a shark. But I flashed out on the inflatable shark suit. And I was so ready for this. And I had like a double shark costume reveal thing going on. And
I think we all know that you're going to get future
died.
use of that.
We
it's
are.
Not just a one-off thing. That's a future investment.
There may have been a secondary inflatable suit costume at the same time that I purchased the shark suit, which will be used in future video content. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to do a little robot desk. I'm echoing, apparently.
Oh, I don't think you're on
there. Am I in a hole? I'm stuck down a well.
Some kind of dwarf digging in a hole. All good.
Diggy cephalopod. So how the fuck is everyone doing? I've died on my arse about 7 times this week. I was explaining to Fizz earlier, I might have to bail on today's stream because earlier on I was too tired to lift my arm up and onto the arm of an armchair.
And yet still managed to fight into a inflatable shark costume. What
that's my commitment to entertainment. There you go. Commitment to solid quality entertainment that we offer people here on the internet. Fucking hell, what we doing, mate?
I was actually lamenting the fact that I went to a lot of trouble. Create a special sample on my DJ deck last night so I could push a button and go, soup! I'm sure you all heard that all the way through the night.
I did
and
not
I don't have a soup button on here. Did you not?
Oh,
you weren't paying attention.
No.
It's not quite, it wasn't quite precise enough that you hit the button and it goes soup. There's a little bit of a tiny bit of a build in the middle, so I need to trim that ever so slightly.
Oh shit, the soup button. That's delightful.
Let's come to soup later.
We'll loop back to soup. The soup loop. Soup loop.
Super.
Super looper. Superb.
Soup. Right, so I was going to have a look at the Resistanz.
I made a list. This is me revealing my highly professional preparation notes, which are possibly hieroglyphs. At one point, it just says UNPH. UNPH. UNF. Actually, it says UNPH twice. We should maybe do a poll on who UNPH is next to. But there's just so many people.
Of UNPH?
UNPH. UNF. UNPH. UNPH. Right. Let's I've just for viewers' purposes, I've got two sections of chat here. One is like a mini chat window, which is really hard for me to read, and it's on this side. And then I've got a big chat window, which is easier for me to read, but it's completely out of my line of vision, and it's over here. Over there. So and also I'm shit at reading. So if I miss something, like I don't know, just shout at me later. Track me down on the internet and tell me I'm a terrible person. But it doesn't mean I don't love you. It's just that I'm shit at reading.
It's OOMPH.
Oh no, that's a different thing. That's OOMPH. That's like give it some fucking welly. OOMPH. It's like
OOMPH.
OOMPH. That's like.
Is that not the noise of like dropping something heavy and wet?
Heavy and wet or rubbing up on someone. OOMPH. But yeah, OOMPH is like giving some welly. We could go into some there's a podcast I've been listening to lately about words, and there's been some absolute gems in there. But anyway, I'm not going to waffle off on a tangent. I'm going to try really hard to stay on topic. You can hold me to that. Good luck with that.
And you, I think, is more of the right. I'm going to try and do a thing.
What thing are you going to do?
Let's see if this works.
Have you prepared a PowerPoint presentation?
I have not prepared a PowerPoint presentation. Fuck off. There we are. Yeah. I spent ages 5 minutes dicking about with this. Yeah, now you just need to stay in the middle. Yeah, but shimmy right. It's in the middle. Yeah, but like the middle's still the middle. So, yeah. I thought, now that I've got all this set up and we don't have to just do the two side-by-side talking head bollocks, we can maybe put some shit on the screen that people can look at that's not just our lovely face. Yeah. So this was the lineup on Friday.
Can people hear me now when we're on this layout, when we're next to each other? So if I talk some shit about, I don't know, a selection of sandwiches, some of which contain egg mayonnaise, other which contain fish paste, can people hear me talking when we're like this? Because that would suggest it's to do with sources in the sandwich. Sandwich.
Yeah,
thank you for the information. Oh. Okay.
Boom.
Boom.
Slightly different and much, much smaller.
Small frame, but that's okay. It still works. So, the point I was making before I was so rudely interrupted by OBS sources was that motherfucker was that the quality of music last weekend was fucking incredible. So if I don't specifically call out a band and go, this band was fucking incredible, it's not because they weren't fucking incredible. And even the bands that were not necessarily my vibe or my type of music were still really, really good. It's just that we've got maybe a couple of hours to chat shit before I ran out of beans and actually had to die under this desk. And so we're obviously going to talk about actual highlights, but I do just want to say,
you're not going to see every band, are you? Because you need to do things like
that's the
eat,
other thing.
socialize.
have a fucking sit down, all that shit. Yeah. And we got to do a whole bunch of that and chatting with some amazing people. And that was lush. And we got to meet some of you lovely bitches. And that was fucking rad. And I think it's just worth saying that, because what I don't want to happen is for anyone to be like, oh, I didn't say we were good, because you were fucking awesome. And I rocked my tits out. I didn't rock with my tits out. I just rocked my tits off, out, / all. It was amazing. Had an awesome time. And what we will talk about today are some awesome highlights that we just want to kind of raise a little flag for. So I just kind of wanted to drop that in before we kick off this shit show, basically. The end.
We're showing shit today, are we? Nobody said no.
We're
Put that
showing
on the
shit
agenda.
today. Yeah, that's on the next PowerPoint slide.
I need a clicker.
Oh, I haven't got the laser on. Hang on. I realised we need a laser pointer, but the laser's not on. Two seconds.
It's going to just point at everything.
If the laser's not on. Motherfucker.
It's like the whole vibe. So Friday was interesting for us because we hightailed it down to lovely Carlisle on Thursday night after we finished work. Held everything in the car, headed down there for a quick overnight so that we could actually make it down to Resistance for some of the early bands, because as per last year, first band was on stage at the back of 3. So it's a bit aspirational and a bit tricky to actually get down to Sheffield, into your accommodation, sort your shit out, get your glad rags on, get down to the venue, get a drink, and be there for 3 o'clock to catch the first band. So unfortunately, I did not catch Petrol Bastard. And I don't think Charlie did either. However,
no, sad times.
We did catch Deadlights, and while Charlie was heading backstage, well, I'll say backstage, to the accessible area through the kind of backstage, Warren, I got a fantastic photo of some blow-up sex dolls with a message about it looks like some shenanigans are going down later.
Yeah, it was just a it was like, is this a murder scene? Has there been a murder? Because it was literally just like a pile of rubber corpses, but it was a delightful, fun side salad. But yeah, obviously there had been.
I was quite disappointed to discover that all of those props had been used by Petrol Bastard on the opening set, so there was no further shenanigans with them.
No.
However, I did see some people running around with them.
Yeah, they were turned into a ball gown, which I was very impressed with. It was very kind of reuse week on Sewing Bee, and it was just kind of fashioned into a ball gown that was just kind of swaggered through the warehouse at one point. It was delightful.
I did see people just like, I don't know, just like somebody had them under all of arms, over the shoulders, around their neck.
Yeah. It was good.
So we did catch Deadlights. I quite enjoyed Deadlights. One of VGN regulars has relocated, so they're now very much a local band to him, which was kind of amusing. So he's been very much promoting them for the last few years and tagging us in all their stuff, saying play these guys. So it's quite good to see them on stage, I thought.
Yeah, that was a good little, because that was the first band for me. So you kind of got that little hype when you first get in and you're ready to get going. And I was like, ooh, they were a good first band for me. Sad to obviously have missed Petrol Bastard, but that was definitely a good first band.
I see we have been invaded by Germans. The Patrick's in the house. Hello, lads.
Hi.
Wait,
yes,
what?
Sai, the guy from Coronation Street. I saw about this. They do love a stunt, and they'd got some dude off Coronation Street, which is a soap opera in the UK that's been going for a really long time. And it's not just a soap opera; it's a ropey ass soap opera at that. They got some dude on to introduce them in their pants, which is delightful. I mean, the soap actor was not in his pants, but Petrol Bastard were very much in their pants.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you clarified that, because I was like, okay, who from Corrie was on stage at Tans in their pants? And wasn't an act?
Yeah.
I could see Matt doing that.
Oh my god, that's Matt's just slowly. We'll get to Matt in a minute. This was essentially Matt Fest. But I think
No,
Matt's
that's over egging it. But not for egging
where
it, but it's
Matt's leveling up his Tans appearance, and I think maybe next year is Matt Pants year.
Matt Pants.
Matt Pants. Everyone's favorite little blue boy.
Yeah. So speaking of Matt, Technovore.
Yeah, that was a nice little segue.
Yeah,
That was a fucking delightful set. Technovore were
that was good.
utterly brilliant. Also, what a nice man. Honestly, he's such a sweetheart. So that was a nice little bonus. But Technovore, fucking great. Really, honestly, that was a swept leg. Yeah, the pairing of those two was just fucking great. Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. Matt from Biomechanimal popped on stage as well. It's like the kind
Yeah,
of it's that sort of little resistance group of the hybrid black lot, the guys of the
yeah,
industrial base scene, kind of always usually they collaborate so much that they always kind of come up on stage with each other and just kind of support each other,
yeah,
help each other out. So it's good to see that sort of thing. But
yeah.
yeah, no, Deadlights and Technicore for me made it really worthwhile putting in the extra fucking effort to overnight halfway down to the festival and get there for, I don't know, when did we get there? Half three? It wasn't too long before Deadlights went on.
No,
4 o'clock maybe? Something about that. Rocked up
I'm
slightly
very sorry if
fashionably
my
late.
I'm very
Was
sorry if
actually
my
quite
coffee.
surprised for the early bands how busy it was.
Yes, that was good. Lots of
It was
keen
very,
beans.
yeah, and clearly that means that it is definitely worth them starting the festival on a kind of early Friday. They are
Hmm.
getting people are coming. I also spotted on Facebook there's quite a lot of people did the whole Tans Day Zero popping into Sheffield on Thursday night.
Yeah, that I was one of those people. Which was a relief actually because there was a couple of snagging issues with our accommodation when I arrived, and I'm glad that I'd come early because had we arrived at 3 o'clock on Friday and those snagging issues been there, because I had to I won't go into it, but I had to leave the accommodation for them to fix it and then come back again. So essentially lost a few hours of being able to get settled and stuff. And had that happened on the Friday, that would have fucked the Friday basically. So
Yeah,
yeah, the Tans Day Zero thing was actually pretty smart. And I met up with Paul in transmission, and we went out for a very early granny dinner, which was lush. And I think that just saved me some beans that got me ready for Friday, which was really good. So yeah, I'm a high recommendationizer for a Tans Day Zero, definitely.
yeah. I think if we do Treffen in Leipzig because it's such a long day of travelling, I usually like to get there a day or two early
Yeah,
because um, just wiped, and you want to be able to, you're there for the weekend, lots of stuff happening, you want to be able to enjoy that.
yeah. Fabsy's saying they got fish and chips to the apartment. That's a fucking great idea.
Decadent that is.
Yeah. First night of a festival having fish and chips. Lush.
I mean, we
So
did
good.
get Sunday
That
roast dinner
roast.
delivered to the apartment
We
on
need
Sunday.
we at some point we're gonna have to share the photo of that roast that you had because that was fucking ridiculous. That was frankly pornographic, that thing.
It was absolute filth.
But we'll get to Sunday in our own good mystical time. Where are we at? So we got
Posted a
to
photo of it.
Technovore. Um yeah, check it on
Next
Discord.
was
That's a good
Mental
idea,
Exile.
Puffin. I think I missed Mental Exile because I think I went and had a little chat with folks about the Technovore set. Because I
Mm.
think what I wanted to do was make sure I caught Mimi Barks. So I went outside for a little bit. But I
I
think I
think
missed a
that
good
was
set
when
then.
I took the first opportunity to check out the catering.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Basic, but way after.
Yeah. Well. Decent coffee. I honestly, as a fan of the beans, my little heart broke because last Tans there was a proper coffee machine, their coffee van. They were lovely people. And it was actually called the Little Mean Bean Machine or whatever it was. And they did really, really, really good coffee. And honestly, a bunch of us were like fueled by that coffee. And then this year we had sachets of instant latte, and it made my heart sad. Lovely people. It was a lovely lass that was serving, but yeah, that was not good. Fabsy loved Mental Exile apparently. Do you want to give us a little bit of blurb about why you like them so much? Okay. Sai saying that they had the dude from Resistanz doing the sound, which made it pretty sweet. Yeah, on the Friday morning,
Interesting.
I ended up having a long, lazy morning, going for breakfast with the Future Lied to Us lot, Jonathan of For All the Emptiness, Paul, End Transmission, and little old me. And we just had like all the coffee in the hotel and then went out for more coffee. And that was just me, Jonathan, and Paul. And it was just lovely hanging out and just chatting with lovely, lovely people before the festival kind of kicked off proper.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice peeps. Definitely nice peeps. And that is just for people who don't know, there's this kind of Venn diagram of Rotterdam, Future Lied to Us, Mental Exile, and
Frozen Plasma as well.
I think,
Was
I
it?
think there's also a crossover there as well. So
Yeah.
you kind of get this kind of little swapsy game being played. But
It's a bit like the Hybrid Black crowd as well. They kind of help each other out and kind of
little
all the different projects.
Little posse.
And I keep getting confused because obviously you got Biomechanimal and Hybrid Black, and then there used to be an old local Aberdeen band called Biomechanoid. She reaches for Universal Communications. No, that's a drink. I thought you had the UCM DVD sitting next to you.
Oh.
But they were also in like a local collective where everybody had their own little projects. That one. Everybody had their own little projects and they kind of helped each other out and did their own different sounds, and they would do gigs of a night and just kind of more of a collaborative art experience, really.
Yeah, that was amazing. Actually, that is definitely a sidebar, but definitely one worth mentioning. I struggled a little while ago to find any trace of them online anymore. You can't really find any of this shit on the Tinty webs anymore. Yeah, that's precious music. Precious
some on like archive.org or something.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Very, very talented people. So Mimi Barks. Now, I was really, really shocked when I came out of this set. So it's also worth mentioning that me and this guy, we experienced all of this music completely differently because for all of the bands, I was in the accessible area, which is a little pen to one side of the stage. And I'm essentially on my own because I'm with people I don't know. So I'm not chatting with anyone. And he's off in the crowd, either giving it laldy or doing whatever. So he's experiencing a very different type of gig to me. And also it means we're not talking. So I don't know if he's enjoying it or whatever. And so we'll meet up afterwards. So I lost my shit to Mimi Barks. That was so up my street. Absolutely loved it. I'd been really looking forward to that set because when Mimi Barks was announced, I was like, fucking yes, this is a real like curveball. Like I love it when festivals put on something that's a little bit to one side of their genre agenda. Yeah, I was really hyped for that, and it fucking knocked my face right off. It was so good, and I came out expecting every single person I met to be like, "Amy, good," and I met this guy, and he was like, "No, fucking shit." It was so weird. We were just at totally different energy levels with it. It was wild.
Wasn't my thing.
No?
So what's ironic is, and I've bumped into a few other people obviously chatting about it after the band. A few other people like, "Oh my god, Mimi Barks is amazing." I'm like, okay, and like, oh yeah, like towards the end of the set, it just got absolutely crazy, and I'm like, well, that's great. but actually, you need to get me you need to take me on that journey to the end of the set, not lose me at the start of the set. So that was, I was like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. That's such a shame, honestly, because, well, it's not a shame because obviously everyone likes different stuff, and I think that's
Yeah.
part of the value of having different acts at a festival. Otherwise,
But
you
there
just
was
have
an
the
awful lot
same
of
band
people I
play the
spoke
whole thing.
to who said Mimi Barks was absolutely amazing. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
maybe
honestly,
I
I
should have
really, really rated
stayed
that.
for
Yeah.
that for the rest of their set, but it was just, yeah, I didn't. Like, oh, I can see he's kicking about, get another drink.
Mm.
Sai seems to think that Mimi Barks was a bit of a Marmite as well.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Definitely, they were a Marmite. But I think you and I represent both ends of that spectrum in that I fucking loved the shit out of it. It was just such a good set. They were so good, and you were like, "Nah, mate, I'm out." I think I even picked up a message from you that was like, "I'm fucking this off," and I'm like, "Well," and like I said, I'll just rave my tits off for both of us then. Um, yeah,
Do you? Yeah.
really, really rated it. Awesome
But that
set.
was the same. Like, there's a few other bands I saw where some other folk were like, nah. And I'm like, yeah, I quite like this.
Yeah,
Right, because
actually,
that's
there's
the,
one from the second day, which we were the other way
yeah,
around on, and we can chat about that in a bit. Um, And the Zardonic set, we had another little clash on this because Zardonic it was like a DJ set. It was a producer DJ set, um, which I really, really rated as that. But it fell flat for you, didn't it?
100%. No, it fell flat for me, not because I didn't like the music, but because, and this is a problem, but this is a pet hate of mine for electronic acts who stand on stage and just DJ and don't really engage the crowd. So he was clearly DJing. I did not have any awareness that it was billed as a DJ set at all. Um, but the guy standing behind a couple of CDJs giving it. It's like, well, it's a DJ, right? Not taking, I mean, I DJ, not taking anything away from that, but for a DJ to be billed as a headline act at a music festival featuring bands, it just
See,
didn't.
and we chatted about this
Yeah,
afterwards because we actually
yeah.
ended up staying up really, really late that night, chatted, and one of the things we were chatting about was exactly this because for me, that set was completely warranted, and that spot on that lineup was completely warranted because it wasn't a straight up DJ set. That was not a, crossfade between a bunch of tracks and away you go. That was a technical producer
Hmm.
DJ set from someone who was a fully entertaining act. Um and held the space, responded to the crowd, engaged with the crowd. Um
But looking
and
at the
yeah.
lineup as is on screen, how am I
Yeah.
supposed to understand that's a DJ set? It's in
Yeah.
the main area bit, not the DJ bit. Nowhere
Yeah.
does it say
Yeah.
DJ set. I think on the lanyards that you got for the Saturday, there was a Seraphim System DJ set in the second room, and it specifically
Yes.
said DJ set.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, like I think like Sai's saying, like his main thing is that he's like a producer DJ. So his whole thing is like those when you see those reels of the big techno DJs in front of the big crowds giving it loudy. Um
Yep.
that's like his thing with the big wubs and the big beats. So
I mean,
I
that's the sort
didn't
of
come
thing.
into that
If you go
expecting
to
anything
see
else.
likes of like the big kind of festival DJ sets where you're going to see people
Yeah.
like Darude. This is the sort of thing you would expect. And actually, if you're going to see Darude and the guy's DJing, you know that he's not actually DJing because the size of the festival has a whole pre-recorded set, which takes nothing away from his skill because he will have pre-recorded that or composed it. But it's a different experience. It's seeing a band.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a different experience seeing a band, but I still feel that was a completely justified move, um, because I think when you see when you know what Zardonic's gig is, then you know what you're getting. Yeah, I think that was fine for me. It was fine. And like I said to you at the time, like I was really sorry that you felt like down by that. Like I was really sorry that that was like a sad thing for you, but I
Yeah, I
fucking
kind of
loved
feel
it.
as well
Like,
like the position on the for that type of um, act, the kind of DJ on stage playing stuff. to be in position as a headliner and top billed and all the promotional stuff when there were bands on that lineup as well who were much more dynamic sets. It just felt like it landed badly for me.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I really am.
So,
Ooh, I loved it.
but importantly, I enjoyed the music. I just didn't like the experience of seeing DJ playing stuff.
Yeah.
I do like Zardonic, but that just didn't land well with me.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, so I was saying a similar thing for Alternate. Yeah. Well, Alternate we'll get to. Sadly, didn't get to catch them, but essentially Alternate again, it's a DJ act, but again, you know what you're getting, because that's the vibe. Speaking of DJs, the lovely Viscera was the first DJ in the warehouse DJ. So he kicked the doors in, and we caught the first half of his set. And I had finally actually got to meet him during the day. And can I just say, he might be one of the nicest people I have ever met in my entire life. And especially one of the nicest people in the event scene that I have ever met in my entire life. Honestly, I won't go into the details, but we were chatting plans, and that was nice. But he was just an absolute sweetheart, and we chatted about music and stuff, and did some nerding, and that was delightful. So I was looking forward to his set, and he played a blinder, and for the bit that we caught, and he's posted his setup, and he played one of my favorite Mandy Dexterous tracks as well. So, yeah, massive props to Viscera.
But he never played any tracks about bins, though, did he?
He didn't play any tracks about bins. Honestly, I don't even know if When's Bins got played the entire weekend. My heart is broken. Although, before the weekend, Matt did get in touch. Matt Hart did get in touch and request the stems for When's Bins. So there is potentially going to be a Matt Hart remix of that. So my sultry voice ranting about bin day might get a bit of a Matt Hart spin on it. We'll see what happens.
I was quite amused at the fact that at some point during the weekend, I can't quite remember when, you introduced me to Jilly, who you wrote the track for, basically. Yeah. And then I just went, oh my God, this massive unload of Evans.
It was so funny. I was trying to be all like, this is my mate Jilly, and also Jilly's this like well-known UK DJ, and she's an absolute sweetheart. And the bins is a thing, hence the track that I wrote about bins. But just as an aside, she's also a wonderful human and one of my dearest friends. This is Fizz, the man behind Virtual Goth Night. And he just went, well, so I have a whole thing about my bins.
I have been drinking.
Oh, he had a few beverages. A couple of cheeky wines.
Yep. Yeah, because we got there, and then we met some friends, got a drink, vodka and coke, as I recall, and then got to see Technovore, and then my friends brought me drinks back, and then at the end of it, caught up with Charlie and Chop and Puffin, and she's like, "Do you want another drink?" I'm like, "Well, I want my fourth one." I've only been here half an hour.
Honestly, you could, like, yeah.
What's that meme where the guy's got the like, you know the one I mean, with the
cheeky little beverage.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
There was a lot of stealth drinking going on at the weekend. I
didn't hear anything. Oh, did you let people down? I let
Marie down. Yes, yeah. So this conversation was also had last year when they met me last year. This is grab your face, Marie.
Grab your face.
My face was grabbed. And
Who bit me?
We were chatting last year about the fact that I don't drink, and then it came up again this year, and they were mortified. Absolutely mortified that I don't drink. You don't drink? What, at all? Nothing? No. I'm so sorry. And yeah, that was let the party team down. Sorry peeps.
Yeah, because group of us, we were all chatting, and then somehow I got Marie accused me of not being Scottish because my accent wasn't strong enough compared to
I got that as
my
well,
chums.
yeah.
Like, aye, hoots, foos your doos, and then tried to take me in a Glasgow street fight and ended up biting me. And then on the Saturday when we were all bumping into each other again, they were like, "I didn't bite you. Did I bite him?" Everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah, you did."
Just a little bit bitey. I got
A
accused of not
little
being
bit.
Scottish as well, which, to be honest, cut me deep because that happens a lot. And I'm like, no, don't do this to me. I've got the SADS about this. This is a really personal issue. Please don't do this. And I was asked to prove it, and I'm like, hello. I am a Scot. That's all I've got. Just that's it. This is getting weird now.
Expat.
Yeah, I'm an expat. Oh god. Anyway, that's a very much an aside. But yeah, so it was a dry weekend for me. Not in weather, but in alcohol, and it still ruined me. It still utterly trashed me, even though I didn't drink. So I don't know how anyone. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had my raging weekends. I used to be quite the party girl back in the day when I was a young whippersnapper. Um, but I don't know how anyone can do it now. Now that we're all old, I don't know how anyone can drink on a weekend like that. Because yeah, how are you even alive? How are you even alive? Yeah, too much.
I don't know. I have no idea how I managed to survive these events.
He says, chugging a gallon of Red Bull. Oh,
Hang
just
on.
gonna drink this pint of
It looks
coffee.
normal sized if I hold it way back here.
You drink your Red Bull. I'll just have my pint of coffee, love.
Finished my tea and it was always in.
I'm gonna need a brew after this. Yeah, Puffin's dead as well. So Puffin's lost her
Yeah,
voice.
it's
Um,
hilarious. I'm not going to
I've
lie.
lost my soul. I had like oh yeah, I'm not even just. It's just been an awful week. Um,
So I
but yeah,
don't know anybody that caught the Yasai Pulsara or Medusa DJ6 or has spoken about them. Did anybody catch them?
yeah. Peeps in chat.
Yeah.
Anyone catch those, or were you all going home to change into your shark costumes at that point? There is some incredible footage of the Carcasaurus set, including a mass shark, and there's even a cheeky little octopus in there. Saturday night dance, which just beautiful,
One
wonderful
of my
work.
chums was in a conga line uh, where they went past the front and there was five of them, and then they went around the room and then they came back round. And it was like basically the entire room was there in this conga line.
Yeah, I do like a conga line.
It was a late one though for Hart.
That was a late one, and I had so hoped that because it was the first day that I'd manage it. I was absolutely on my arse completely.
For me, my festival was more the earlier in the day bands. So if I wanted to do the late shift, I would have had to like have a long line, get up a lot later, just kind of skew my entire day. And
Mm.
with the impending checkout of the accommodation on the Monday morning, it was just the timing would probably absolutely murder me. And on Tuesday, when I got to the office, one of my colleagues just looked at me and went, "You okay?"
Have you been through a trauma? Did something bad happen to you outside of work?
Actually, it wasn't Tuesday. It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. By that point, I'm just like, "I'm fine." So yeah, it
Yeah,
was
the clocks change didn't
choices were
help
made.
either.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah,
The
that just,
fucking
but
clocks
that didn't
change.
hit me until Tuesday morning properly. Like the whole
Yeah.
getting up early, getting in, and I was like, ah.
Sigh, you poor thing. Oh my god, Sigh and Fabsy had their sound check at 10
And
a.m. on Sunday after
effectively
the clocks
nine
had just gone
o'clock.
forward.
9 o'clock
You
sound
absolute
check.
poor things. I hope that they met you with a selection of breakfast treats and a little crown. Like that's just mean.
So a big bucket of cheesecake was it that was found?
Yeah,
If I
yeah, it
recall
was
from last night.
a selection box of cheesecakes. Just Fabsy like Pac-Man. Oh, that's just
That was not good. Are we
mean.
talking about the cheesecake or the 10 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe what our job will be to just chat shit about the event, but what we need from you is a solid review of the quality of cheesecake. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it was like a, kind of one of those like small businesses that make cheesecake, or was it just like Aldi cheesecake selection, or something in the middle?
Mid-range. It was a Morrison's cheesecake, like a
Oh,
middle of the range cheesecake.
you were first in the sound check.
Despite not being the headliner or the first band. That's so mean.
You
Oh,
know,
mate.
kind of feel like if one of these said Saturday on it, they might have known where the lineup is.
That was very seamlessly done. I do kind of
Yeah.
feel like you need a clicker and a laser pointer here. Um,
Next time, it's going to be full on PowerPoint on the go.
yeah, next year. Um, oh my
That's
god.
plan ahead. Yeah.
Plan ahead. Next year, next fucking year, I am taking my proper fucking camera with me. I have all of this shit behind me from video making.
You
And
just got
what
to
did
get
I
worried
take with
about
me?
taking care of it.
Yeah, honestly, I would have been shitting myself the whole time. But what happened was I made a bunch of videos on my phone and I'm really sad about them all because they're just shit phone footage. And I'm like, wow, it's not what it could have been. I could have really done that better with my fucking DJI or whatever. So
What you
next
need is a
year I am
drone.
going
You
to
can just
take.
fly over the crowd, zoom in, get really close to the bands, trying to kill
No,
anyone.
I've got my magic extendy arm from a DJI. I could have done some really nice dynamic shots and stuff. And yeah, I'm really annoyed. But
There was one of the
anyway,
local clubs here actually posted a video on Facebook the other day. They got somebody to fly a drone in the club, round all the
yeah,
bars, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool!" And especially since they've clearly evacuated the building because there are zero people in here behind the bar,
yeah.
just in case this all goes horribly, horribly wrong.
In case it's a terrible accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was someone with a little handheld,
Yeah.
like the DJI you've
Doing an
got, but actually,
impression
this
of a
was then like
drone.
going over the bars and around the booths and doing all kind of
Yeah.
weird. I was like, yeah, no, this is a drone.
Nice. That's kind of cool.
We could have just parked it in front of Sai, just like probably just like dead in the chair.
Sigh like this in his chair with all of his kit at 10 in the morning and it's just a hovering drone in his face.
Yeah.
Angry. You'd be so mad. Get that fucking thing out of my face. But yeah, so next year, definitely. Planned ahead, take my shit, make some better videos. Um, and yeah, we'll probably think this through a bit better. And I might plan my beans a bit better as well so that I can talk
Wait,
like a
what?
human.
Cork floors get washed.
The floors might get washed, but the walls don't, because there is a photo circulating of the mold that's growing on the the toilet walls in the ladies' loos, um,
You take
possibly
it.
now sentient. Maybe that's why everyone got sick, because there's mold spores.
I seem to be one of the few people that's not been a little bit fatigued, just generally, but I'm putting it down more to just the long distance traveling and the lack of sleep, as opposed to getting anything that's knocking me for six.
Yeah. Well, I hate you now. I haven't.
So
I didn't get. There's been some full blown COVID, but yeah. Um,
we're
oh,
all
ten
empty.
thirty
So
sound check was Jonathan.
10,000 sound checks. So
Oh,
what I was surprised at, the curveball for me of the entire weekend, was Killing Miranda.
yeah,
Yep, that place was packed to see them as the opening band on
yeah.
Saturday. I even spotted a few people wearing Killing Miranda merch, and that has not been sold in a very long time.
No way.
Simon Penguin walking around with his Killing Miranda t-shirt.
Oh, that's really
And
sweet.
um, I really enjoyed them.
Oh, cool.
Really, really enjoyed
I
them.
I did not catch that set, I'm afraid. So I have nothing to offer here, but I'm interested to hear what it was you enjoyed
It
about it.
was good because um, the only track that it's stuck in my mind over the years, so many years since they used to go about and do their thing. Really, because I think I was telling everybody. So I'm going to tell everybody here now that I think the last time that I saw them would have been in Glasgow in 1999 during the summer. So
So,
about
sorry,
25 years
what?
ago. 25 years ago, I saw them.
Yeah.
And the only track that since then has really stuck with me as being I associate with them was Teenage Vampire.
Right.
You know, it's vampire songs. Oh my god, this is quite funny. It's a little bit cartoony and everything, but it's a fun track. And I'm like, whoa, I've not heard this in a while. Oh, I've not heard this in a while. Oh, Burn Sinister. Yeah, this is good. And caught myself singing along, and I don't really know how because I've not heard them in all these tracks in so long. But it's like core memory unlocked.
Ah, that's
They were
really
good. Very
nice.
much enjoyed it.
Oh, cool. Little gem
Yeah,
buried in the depths. That's nice.
yeah. So I think a lot of people actually enjoyed them, and it was just that up for a kind of electronic industrial psytrance-esque in a music festival. They were a complete curveball in the lineup.
Hmm.
I did worry a little that they were going to be the kind of comedy band of the weekend. You know how Infest usually has the Friday night comedy band opener.
Yeah.
I
The
was kind of
cabaret
worried
act,
that,
basically. Yeah.
yeah, but actually no, the guys went out there and played a blinder.
Cool. That's really nice to know.
I was very surprised because I was not expecting them to be as good as they were.
Yeah. Nice. Bit of cheeky nostalgia, like Si
Yeah,
says.
and from like all the nostalgic to all the newness of ES23.
Yeah. So glittery. So
Was there
very,
actual glitter
very
being thrown
glittery.
about?
It was just as a person, there was just so much glitter. It was very distracting. Oh, puffing like
So much glitter.
TS23.
I very much like ES23.
Yeah.
Yeah, really like them.
That I think that was where you and I flipped round the other way because that was not my bag. I was like I said earlier on, the caveat stands of that doesn't mean it's not good music because it was totally good music. It just wasn't for me.
Oh yeah, on balance, I think every band across the entire weekend was on balance enjoyed by most people.
Mm.
Always the same people, but most people.
Yeah.
I really liked ES23. They were not a band I'd heard much of in the past that I was aware of hearing anyway. I played one of their tracks last night on BGN and got really annoyed because I couldn't find one of the other tracks that they made a big announcement about, and I missed the bit where they said it was unreleased and spent ages looking for it.
Like I said though, that whole like stage chat is more often
Yep,
and you don't actually hear what's being said. So no, don't always feel
exactly.
bad for that.
Like the,
You just
they had a,
Sheffield.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a classic thing, isn't it? Like, how are we doing? Insert city and or event.
Now, Choke Chain, I'm gutted I missed because I was hyped to see them. But I heard they had some sound issues which took the edge off their performance a bit, which is a bit of a shame because there was a bunch of people who were hyped to see them, particularly after their appearance at Infest had been so good.
Let me
So that's
quickly see if I can share this and see. What? Yeah, this is the track that I was trying to find. They got it. Yes, or anything of it posted up on their Facebook. It was amazing. I thought, and I couldn't find the bloody thing, so I was just like in a bit of a
ah,
huff. Yeah. So choke chain, we flipped around again.
yep.
Didn't enjoy them.
Yeah,
It
like I
felt
said,
more
I heard there was some
like
sound issues which affected the performance a fair bit.
it felt more like a performance art experience to me.
Yeah,
Um,
which I mean that's legit up my street completely. So I'd usually be all over that, but yeah, I think in the whirlwind of festivalness, annoyingly timings had got the best of me, and I missed that, which I'm really disappointed by because I would have really enjoyed that because I do like it
Actually,
when art and music collide.
your point about sound audio, I did spot there's quite a few of the artists at the weekend had like the first song or two, the vocals always sounded a bit off
Mm-hmm.
until they got them dialed in almost.
Mm.
I think that actually happened with Deadlights. I was like, oh, the sound like musically great, but the vocals sound a little bit off. And then whatever it was got fixed, and yes, and that
Just
happened with
rocked
a
it.
number of bands. So I was giving them a little bit more time
Yeah.
to just kind of see if that was something that you'd fix. Somebody mentioned that a couple of the feeds back to the mixing desk or had been miscommunicated or plugged in the wrong way around or something. Eventually, they
Oh,
worked it
okay.
out. But
I noticed that over the weekend, it became apparent that you had a system. So you were
have a
messaging me.
system like you. You
You
seem to have a plan.
you
This doesn't
you
happen.
totally had a plan, and like you never fucking have a plan. You are like the man of a zero plan situation.
Zero,
So I
zero
was
plans.
amazed. Zero plans. So it became apparent that you were like giving acts 3 songs to grab you, and then God.
Oh,
Um
tops.
Yeah, and I was like, "That feels a little bit brutal," but I understand why, you're using your festival time in, like, an efficient way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
But
if you're not enjoying yourself and it's just, like as I do, Mimi barks, it's like, I don't think actually that I gave them 3 songs because it was just so not connecting with me.
yeah.
I was just like, actually, I'll go and chat to some folk and where I can actually
See,
have a conversation.
my hesitance with a system like that, though, is that you can often miss the narrative of a set. Because if someone has planned a set to kind of grow and change over time, if you're going, I'm giving you 3 tracks to grab me and then I'm fucking off, you might miss the change. So like with Mean
But
Bucks is a
by
good
that
example of
point,
that. Like,
but by that point, you've already invested 15 minutes of your time into something that you're not enjoying.
yeah. But I mean, I think maybe I just vibe so hard with music, unless it is truly atrocious. And I mean, it would have to be truly atrocious for me to walk away. I will usually stick it out because I want to give something to the artist who's given me something. Um, just because I appreciate what people are giving, I guess. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I gave them 15 minutes of my life. I mean, that's assuming that every
Rude.
track's about 5 minutes long, but if they're a bit longer, then
Maybe I just have a little bit too much kindness in my heart.
yeah.
maybe
No, but it's
maybe
you're there for a very limited amount of time.
yeah.
Making best use of your time. It's like actually, I want to see this band. Um, they're not jamming with me. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to go and talk to someone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
take a Neurocipher style fresh air break. There's lots of they've got lots of
Yeah.
other options, and so if you're trying to fit everything in, actually, you make the best use of your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, just like I just feel like the music is so damn precious. I want to really give it my everything. Give it all my beans. Um so yeah, I don't know. I when it became apparent that you had such a system, I was like, wow, I never for all the ways in which you never plan. I was very
No,
surprised that you
it's
had a
just
plan.
it is just like if because I'd seen some of the bands with the problems on the vocals. It's like, but it was kind of like okay, give them a couple of songs if to kind of work that out because there's a lot of that there's so many bands, they're all set up differently.
Yeah.
Um, Apparently, they didn't all make their sound checks. Uh, Give them a little bit of time to work out what's going on. But if it actually turns out it's not the sort of thing that sits well with you, doesn't connect with you, then you're just going to stand there. I would just personally stand there and be annoyed for another half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. There was also an element of me being slightly trapped where I was as well. So if it was like, if you're going to be in for the set, you're in for the set, and that's just, you're not going to go anywhere. So I guess that's an element too.
Exactly.
Anyway, Surf and
Matt
System
Hart
DJ
appearance
set.
too. I
Yes.
believe Surf and System
Yeah.
played
We
one of the
need a bingo
remixes
card.
of Matt's track, so Matt went in and did some live vocals for that.
Yep.
But
Yarp.
again, that was more of a what time was that? I think that was my second trip to the Chinese van, where it blew their mind by going, "Do you have rice? No, it's only no. Do you have noodles? No, it's only rice and egg rice." And I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't." Okay, just chicken. Do you want spring rolls or something? Because this messes with our pricing system, where it was your main plus rice, noodles, spring rolls, or prawn crackers. I'm like, actually, I really only noodles out of that. So I ended up with the
Just
tub
give me a bowl
full
of
of chicken, and someone went, "Here, have an absolute fucking ton of spring rolls." Don't really like these, and tried to give them away, but
So I also ducked out for dinner time as well. There
yeah.
there is a debate on Jilly's feed about when you go to get chips, because there's certain types of bands. There's bands you make a beeline for. There's bands you'll check out if you have time, and then there's the bands that's chips time. And it was basically, when do you go and get chips? When is your chips
Yeah,
priority? And yeah,
I think it's
everyone's got a chips time.
you're not going to see you can't see everything, right? I
No.
mean, you could see all the bands, but then you're not eating.
Yeah.
You know, like there's all the existence, and you're going to have to pop the loo at some point, and that's not necessarily going to be nicely timed with the breaks and the bands and just the way everything's. Go with your flow.
Yeah, the first day I didn't eat because there was no food there that is suitable for the stupid health bullshit that I've got going on. The only thing that I had while I was there were cups of tea and the little rip-off Biscoff biscuits that they had. So that was what fueled me the whole first day, and that might be why I didn't make it to Carcassonne. So yeah, day 2 I actually went and got some food, but I had to go elsewhere to get that, sadly. I did, however, venture into the pancake truck, because that was a place that had some food that was vaguely Charlie safe. And to be fair, fucking great pancake, mate. It was
I
bloody
kind of
brilliant.
felt sorry for that guy because he was kind of up right at the back
Yeah,
and didn't seem to be doing a roaring trade because there just seemed to be a big queue for the Chinese or the
yeah,
burger van all the
but
time.
no, did savoury pancakes too, you know. Yeah,
Big
I
fan.
would have boshed back a savoury pancake, but there was a peanut butter and Nutella option.
Don't like Nutella.
So I basically had like a dirty protest pancake. Um, and and it was fucking delicious. Yeah, big old dirty protest pancake. Yeah, it was really good. Anyway,
Did
Danny
anybody
Blue.
catch? No, did anyone catch the Seraphim System set?
Yeah,
Or we completely skipped past the
or
um,
it was everyone getting chips at that point. I don't think they
tea
were,
time?
because from what I hear, it was fucking great. Anybody out
Anyone?
there?
Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Danny Blue?
Danny fucking Blue.
That was good.
That was great. So good. Like, amazing stage presence, such good energy, brilliant voice. Um, just brought such a good vibe to that lineup that day. Yeah. I mean, I was hyped to see Danny Blue anyway, but that was just so fucking good. Yeah, really, really good.
I was very much looking forward to Danny Blue set because a friend of the channel, DJ Distort, has been very vocal about their music.
Mm.
Quite aligned tastes in the kind of heavier industrial side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously Danny goes not very heavy and industrial, which is also why I was like, huh.
Oh, what you doing? What's this industrial pop?
Yeah.
Oh, hey Lex.
Hello.
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed that too. It was just such a good set. Everything about that was just so dazzlingly like heavy and queer and like we know I love that shit, right?
Yep.
Everything was just fucking glorious. Ferrell has done a quick recap for Layla, who's just joined us. Hey, Layla. Saying all bands improved tenfold by the inclusion of Matt Hart. Well, oh, Matt Fest. There's also some artwork that I created which has not yet reached the internet.
Oh yes, because we had a big conversation about this, which was something that we would not have in any way. No, there's absolutely zero way that we would have spotted this if it was not brought to our attention. But
oh god,
Matt's other half, Slither, had sent a whole bunch of flyers and stuff off for printing, and Matt's got a very kind of dark industrial sort of blue, specifically
like
blue
blue
thing going on,
grayscale kind of thing,
blue.
yeah.
And all of the flyers came back and they were very much purple.
It's not even the whole thing. It's just one of the images of him stands out in front of all the other pictures. It's like a little montage picture of him doing like, yeah, Matt stuff. I'm being Matt. And then there's just this one of him and he is blue. Like a little blue man.
Purple. And then
yeah.
What was even funnier was that, so there was like, yes, so I had this whole conversation with the printers who were like, oh my God, we're really sorry, we'll do another run. And they did the whole thing and printed it and sent it out again for completely for free, which is always fantastic when people are like, shit, that's gone. Here, have another, I don't know, I think it was like 10,000 flyers.
10,000,
also, yeah, and he's purple again.
He's a little blue boy. And Fizz pointed out there is a well-known character in literature and film history who is well known for being a certain shade of purple and blue. And once this was pointed out, I couldn't not make my way to a piece of software with
You just like, well, like,
haste.
I need to go on this right now.
Literally, it was one of those, hello, attention span, this has to happen right this second. And I sat there on the bench in the cold, in the dark, and I created a monster, which may get shared at some point. But also, I'm concerned about it slightly taking the edge off Matt's credibility, so I'm not gonna necessarily do it public. Oh, Matt, I'm sorry, not sorry.
Crimes were committed.
I've done a crime. Oh god. Oh fuck.
You're a terrible person for sharing that.
Oh god, I'm a good friend. I'm a good friend. I'm the kind of friend you need. Yeah, so Matt's a little blue boy. Purple boy. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Shell and Rain. Oh gosh.
Has he seen it yet?
Yeah. So the thing was, I sent it to the inbox, which is managed by both him and Sandra, and I was like, for the attention of Sandra, but knowing that Matt would see it without the context of the conversation that we had had. And I saw Matt later on, and I was like, Matt, listen, there's something in your inbox, mate, and you have no context for this, but have you seen it? And he just gave me this look that was like, I will murder you in your sleep. I was like, Matt, I just, I love you. Like, I really respect your work and your work ethic. And I just think you're a lovely man. It's just when something funny happens, I can't not do these things. I'm sorry.
You're not living to see 3807.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh, so yeah, Layla, we're going to make him some new merch. I have a little video project in the pipeline, which is specially for Matt, actually. So keep your eyes on the intertubes for that. That's the last thing I want to say about that.
That's a teaser.
That's the way the internet works, isn't it? You don't actually say what you're going to do. You say you're going to do a thing, but not what it is. People love that shit. That's how it works, isn't it?
I'm
Is it?
terrible at the whole teaser promo bullshit.
But the thing is, in about a week, I'll tell people what it is, and the teasing will be over because I'm also shit at keeping secrets. So, unless it's an important secret, I'll keep those secrets. I should refer to my notes again. So next to Danny Blue, there is a heart, and it says "dreamy," and
Dreamy.
that's not swoon. And given given that it's International Asexual Day, I should probably point out that's not because I'm sexually attracted to the guy. That's because the music is freaking dreamy and the whole performance was fucking incredible. And I've also written "everyone is queer now" next to that as well. So there we go. Just by being in that room, it's rubbed off on you.
So, what else we got next? What we got? Ooh, Future Lied to Us.
Yeah. That. Oh, sorry, that was a bit.
This is where you dropped a promo and then you're like, oh, you lied to us. Didn't do it. Well, actually, Matt's from the future.
He is. Oh, but he weirdly. Ow. Sorry. Random body
You sucked funny again.
No, it's my body screaming. Just doing a big heckin' yell. Excuse me while I just massage my own leg. Yeah, the future lied to us. That was really, really good. And not just in like a this is an enjoyable music way. That was like a very technical set, and I very much enjoyed the technicality of that set.
Very much so. And they had Christian from Rottersand. I can't remember the other chap at the back doing all the technical noodling. And Christian's a very talented musician. So the musically, it was an odd one actually for me because musically it was quite upbeat, kind of quite rhythmic kind of music, and then the vocals over the top were quite kind of slow and ballady for a lot of it. But it went well together. And the crowd really got into that.
Yeah, there was a really good vibe in that room, wasn't there?
Yeah, everybody was giving it a little bit of a shimmy.
Just a little shimmy.
But then this is another one of those ones where I heard something that I liked and I can't find the bloody thing, so I'm trying to work out if it's another unreleased track that they played.
Was there a particular track?
Yes, at one point it sounded like it would mix very, very, very well into Firestarter by Prodigy.
Okay.
I obsessively listened to all the Future Lied to Us on the way back up the road, and a little bit after that, and then I'm like, nope, can't find it. Must be released or just something that they do live, because maybe they sampled Prodigy.
Possibly. Just drop that in. Oh my god, yeah. My leg is so angry. Sorry. Jesus. Layla says that Danny Blue is somewhat decorative. He was a very well decorated chap. In fact, came out wearing some Kuro latex. I bought some Kuro latex at the weekend, which I come home with, which I'm very happy with. And now also own a timeshare on a Kuro latex fan. Thanks to the generosity of the puffin. We do love that puffin. But yeah, so Pufferoo, we do love you, Pufferoo.
Dress as a shark. Struggling to dress as a shark, actually.
Struggling to dress as a shark. That's like me. In
a child's sleeping bag.
Before we went live, I was stood in this room dressed as a shark. Like, how do I even? Because your hands are inside the shark. I did not have hands, so when I went to turn my camera on whilst a shark, I exited out of everything. I was like, fuck. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So then I had to, like, whilst a shark, get back into the fucking guest star shit again, whilst a shark. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Kanga.
Well, I was going to talk about Kuro a little. Say Kuro is
Oh, did you?
actually still, I think, tours with Grendel.
Yeah.
Still touring with
And
Grendel.
also
He's got his own
does
band.
his own stuff as well. Yeah.
Stuff. Yep.
Multi-talented little bean.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as you say, Kanga. This was a surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah. There was a bit of a murmur. There was a little exodus and a murmur. I think some folks were a bit disappointed with the performance, the set, and the change in energy. Because let's face it, going from Danny Blue and Future Lied to Us and the energy in that room to an artist who totally has a catalog of like up tempo, really hyped, like really impactful stuff, but who began their set with really like art style low energy stuff, which there was nothing wrong with doing, but in that moment on that lineup, headlining on a Saturday night, it just kind of hit the room a bit flat, and it meant that a lot of people did what you were doing earlier on and just going, "No, this isn't hitting my vibe. I'm not liking this."
Yep.
And
From
yeah,
the energy that was there in the crowd, um, it just dropped. And as you say, like, is Kanga a headliner? Absolutely, Kanga
mm,
is a headline artist, right?
yeah,
She has a huge um, array of upbeat, higher tempo stuff, or even not so much higher tempo, but more kind of poundy, beaty, dancey stuff. And then to start off with the ballad, kind of more ballad stuff, they're just like that.
mm.
And as
Which like,
from where I
I mean,
was, because I was standing behind the sound desk,
mm,
but also say that she wasn't lit very well because she was just lit from behind. So she was just this dark figure walking up and down the stage, singing. So that actually followed through to quite a number of the other bands. Didn't seem to be lit very well from the front.
mm,
Just the kind of general stage lights, not the. There's lights on either side of the stage that could have, but just didn't seem to light a lot of the artists. And I don't know if they just someone
mm,
forgot to switch them on later, or if, but the light show for the crowd was great. But Kanga was standing there as a dark shadow again with all the kind of purple and floaty lights going on, and it was a bit melodic for me,
I think
low
I think
tempo.
that would have been a good set. I just think that was a set for another event, essentially,
Yes,
um, which was a real shame. Yeah,
yeah, but that's
yeah.
pretty much it. I think it's like, was it a good set? Probably in the right circumstances. Yeah. Did Papsy? Did she say she didn't want the front lighting? Just wanted to be a dark shadow.
Quite possibly, and I mean, I know that a lot of acts like that kind of give me a silhouette thing, um, and yeah, I totally get that. But it was like the theme across the weekend was everyone's a silhouette. Um, there was very few that were
So
strongly lit from the
you'd see
front.
them properly. I think Danny
Mm.
Blue just reflected everything. No backdrop either. Yeah, I didn't
Mm.
pick that up actually. It's not fun. So
Yeah, later
I'd
that
seen
there were
Kanga once
some.
before, in Aberdeen actually.
Yeah.
When would that have been? Late 2019, supporting Gary Newman, and it's one of the ballroom venues in Aberdeen, which has a phenomenal sound usually. And I'd never heard of Kanga before, um, and really did not grab me at all and sounded horrific. And I just thought it was that whole um, the sound techs are just doing the support act and you know doing them nasty, but um, and then completely dismissed Kanga as a result, and then came to know and love Kanga
Mhm.
through the pandemic and by listening more to the music, and actually people who hadn't been at the gig going, "Oh, have you heard this?" I'm like, "Oh
Mm.
no, I haven't. This is really good." Um,
Yeah.
and then felt really bad for her because I feel like the Aberdeen gig could have been a lot better because Gary Newman, following on from her, was absolutely spot on and played an absolutely amazing set.
Yeah, I mean, you know, by their very nature, gigs can be hit and miss. You know, you're not going to be like the gig of your life every single time you play a gig, and that's completely okay. It's not like you will never be given forgiveness for not absolutely nailing it every single time you play a gig. Like, you know, people aren't gonna cancel you for not absolutely bossing it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It's just observations that were on this time round. It just felt like, oh, that's a shame. I was looking forward to that kind of thing, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So after Kanga, we didn't really catch much of the DJs again.
No, Red Meat and Exocell, caught both of them. Not all of Exocell set, but I wanted to catch some of it because I knew it was going to be stronkin'. And how they did deliver. Lots of that lovely untsy rhythmic filth, which I fucking adore. I think there's this kind of there's this bit of a challenge in that the rhythmic industrial techno stuff, which is so absolutely my vibe, can be a bit of a struggle for some folk when they're starting to get tired.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for some people, that's the time to leave because they're like, oh, it's getting a bit untsy in here. And so they start making an exodus. Whereas for me, I'm like, yay, it's getting a bit untsy in here. But just maybe not
And
with
how are
that
you
voice.
spelling
I'm not
ounce?
actually a small show. But yeah, it's yeah, so the big crunchy like rhythmic industrial machinery breaking down in time to a rhythm thing is my happy place. So that was
Yeah.
a couple of good sets for me. That was really good. I
Yep.
would really like
So
my leg to stop screaming at me. Sorry, I'm very distracted.
I think I quite enjoyed kind of red meat was very kind of, as you say, very boots, and I think by that point we were sitting on the kind of the bar side of the warehouse. Kind of it's divided into kind of here's the bar with some kind of seating bit, and then the kind of merch stand, the cloakroom, and then there's kind of pillars down the middle of the room, and the other side is the kind of DJ bit, and there's a bit of a slight baffling of the sound between the two, but it seemed to go down well. There was a lot of people on the dance floor giving it shapes
I
and everything.
I do believe that was during those sets. That was when you went off on one at Jilly about your pins.
I think you're right because when going back into the warehouse area, I was like, this is a time of night when they clear away all of those tables and all of that amazing seating. And hey, there's a table there. There's nobody at it sitting in front of the bar that's not going to get swept up.
You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
Watching everybody
But
get
yeah, I
evicted
think
from their
actually,
seats.
Layla,
Amateurs.
when's bins? I'm not going to do the voice because it's weird and it makes me feel uncomfortable. But yeah, that is the other point is last year I don't think they cleared away that entire area. I think it was like maybe 2/3 of that warehouse area they cleared away, and they kept a smaller area that was maybe a couple of tables and some chairs. And this year it went full school disco and it was just some chairs around the edges and those bar stools and tables on the other side of the pillars. And literally everyone that I spoke to was like, this is shit, there's nowhere to sit down. Because you know you're not going to be dancing all night, and even if you're not like a full flag waving disabled person like me, you still want to sit down at some point. And I think maybe that was a little bit of a whoops because just literally like 10 more chairs would have kept 30 more people in the room because of the way that weird maths works. Yeah, I think just potentially that would have been a little bit of a win.
Yeah,
We're
I think
old, we need seats. Yes, yes, Sai.
yeah.
If someone who makes the music that you do at the energy level that your music is can say we're old, we need seats. I think that is an advocate for all of us.
I think there was also less seating in the courtyard this year. Because there was a whole bunch of little pod table things that were all stacked up on the side.
I'm not sure.
Right? But then I think it became less on. There was one of the days it suddenly became less because there was rain as well. But it's like, the rain has stopped. However, all of that is still wet.
Yeah.
We're not all in PVC or other waterproof materials.
I bumped into Nadia at one point, the ever beautiful and immaculate presented Nadia, and she had chosen to wear an entirely PVC outfit, not because of its aesthetic appeal, but because it was the most waterproof thing she owned. It was a really wet day. I mean, don't get me wrong, she looked fucking incredible, because of course she looked incredible. Of course she did. But also, it's PVC. It's very practical. Oh. So that was the night that you and I stayed up until 5 a.m. Even though we had left by maybe 12:30. Technically, by that point, it was actually 1:30 because that's when the clocks changed. And we went back to go and have a cup of tea and a sit down, and ended up chatting shit until 5 in the fucking morning. And
Did
that
we talk
was
about
like
anything
the
particularly
biggest
productive,
ever.
or was it just shit?
I think we may have done some planning of taking over the world, as we always do whenever we actually have some time together. But I didn't make any notes, and it was 5 in the mornings. I think at one point we may have agreed to actually just at some point go on a holiday that isn't doing a thing.
Things.
Oh
yeah, that was right.
Actually having a holiday.
Let's go on a holiday and not take half of our fucking house apart to stream from some random place that may or may not work. We'll spend an entire half day setting the whole fucking thing up and dicking about with it till we're happy.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very proud that that's a skill that we have, that we can rock up to a country house in the arse end of Northumberland, or a bunker somewhere in Dundee. You know, we can do those things. That's really cool. But also sometimes it's nice just to go away. So yeah.
Because 28 anyway, Group did drop the whole. So, do you fancy doing something for Midsummer?
Yeah. No. With all the love and adoration that we have for having access to a bunker. Yes, but also no.
Yes, but as long as it doesn't involve streaming.
Yeah, let's just come for a holiday this time. But the thing is, we're shit at doing that, because we'll get there and we'll be like, I'll just get my camera out, and we could just do a little something, because we're all here. We may as well.
Should not to. We don't get together very often. We should spend the time.
Exactly. We should use this time productively, right? It just seems wrong just to be sat here having a nice time together. Yeah. God, we're shit at relaxing. What is this nonsense? Anyway, day fucking 3. I think by this point I've had 9 hours sleep in 3 days or some shit like that. Maybe it was 10. I can't even remember.
Day 3 started with the most amazing thing.
Yeah. That picture does not include the pint and a half of gravy that came with those roasts. That was filth.
That somewhere.
Honestly, I mean, I'm vegetarian. That's just grotesque. I did not partake in this. I mean, it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. Those Yorkshires look fucking lush. That looks like something from a Saw film.
Tasted like something from a Saw film as well. No, it didn't.
Rain, a little VGN holiday together.
I did a thing.
Our faces are big. Rain has suggested a VGN get-together holiday. That would be lush. We would need do like a Butlins thing or something. That'd be cute. I used to organise big group holidays to the centre parks, but it is stupid expensive to go to centre parks these days.
So this was basically a guy that brought 2 pizza boxes full of meat and veg and a big massive takeaway container entirely full of gravy and wrapped in many, many layers of cling film to the house. It was amazing.
There is a picture somewhere, or possibly it might be the video that I made for the little recap reels that I was making. And
Yeah.
Puffin's face is a fucking picture. She's like a kid at Christmas. Like, look what they got me! It's a whole roast dinner. It's pretty incredible. But yeah, so they boshed that back in the morning.
Half of it, and then the other half that night. Because, oh my God, there's so much meat inside.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's just grotesque.
So if you're interested, it was from Fire Pit, who do a kind of smoky barbecue type stuff in Sheffield.
Yeah.
And I think we tried to work out what we were going to do on the Sunday kind of morning, afternoon pieces when we were going down to the venue. Because we went out for lunch on Saturday before going down to the venue. It's like on Sunday, do we do the same? It's the Easter weekend, don't know what's going to be open. And it's like, well, you know what? If we look at Just Eat, Deliveroo, that will list places that are actually open. And then we can just get them to bring us food. And then we don't need to get ready, go and eat, hope that I don't spill my gravy all the way down the front, and then go to the venue or back and change t-shirt and then go to the venue. We can just eat and go. So we did that. And I would thoroughly recommend
also,
it.
not having to worry about being dressed up around normies, because although Sheffield is generally a friendly place, I did have some shit while I was out and about. At one point, I walked back to the apartment. It was dark enough to be like the nighttime, but it wasn't actually late.
This.
And I got quite a lot of shit from guys in the street, and that did not feel good. I generally don't feel safe around bad places anyway, so that didn't feel good. So, yeah, basically, didn't necessarily want to go out around families having their Easter Sunday meals whilst wearing latex harnesses and big stompy boots. I just didn't necessarily feel good about that. So, I just can't be fucked with people looking and shit. I'm so over that shit. So it was just nice to stuff our faces in the apartment.
I think even on Sunday night going
and then
back,
just
we
go out.
got some weird looks from folk and some comments
Oh
as
my
well.
God,
And it's
those
just
guys!
like,
That was actually a little bit scary. We kind of dived into a little newsagent and actually hid for a minute while they went past, and
like,
then
let's
they
let them go
stopped and
past.
came back.
Twice.
And then shady shit, man. Didn't like that at all. Yeah, oh, horrible. I don't like people. Just be nice. Fucking hell.
Because it's not my
Anyway,
place, you know.
Sunday kicked
It's
off.
not somewhere I live. I don't really know what the general vibe of the crowd is, and the kind of the body language. You know, it's like better
Yeah,
just
and
to
you
kind
don't
of
know what
avoid.
you don't know what the banter is either, because in some places people will say some shit, but it can be in some places like buddy banter, and it's not actually meant with malice or intent to harm. Whereas somewhere else, the same comment is literally said just before you're about to get attacked. And it's hard to know in a place that you don't know which is the situation. And when you
Especially
are
when there's a
used
larger
to,
group.
yeah, the Sunday night on the way back, that did not feel good. I did not like that situation. That felt sketchy as fuck.
Especially with them coming back and having to look into the shop a couple of times, stare at us.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
was
like,
we've literally fucking hidden in newsagents, mate. That's ridiculous. I haven't done that. Anyway, let's just
right.
pass that doomy bit by and talk about the
So
incredible
what we've
music.
done is we've skipped from breakfast / Sunday lunch all the way to the shop and going back to our accommodation in the night, and we've completely missed everything in between.
Which is ridiculous because Sunday was fucking incredible. Oh my God. It was so good. Oh my God. Sunday was such a good day. Sunday was like my vibes. And threw me some unexpected curveballs of music that I did not think I was going to like, and I actually did. So.
Oh, really?
Yes. There was a bunch of stuff that I knew I was going to love, and I loved even more than I loved. Hang on. That's not a sentence that makes sense. I'll roll with it. And then there was some other stuff that I was like, and then I went, ooh, about. I will possibly use some words to explain that later. It started with Insec, and that fucking set vibrated my soul in ways that has not happened in live music for some time, and it was fucking delightful. It was so good.
This is another one of those points we differ. Because
Yes.
while this is quite an important piece, I think, because this is a really bizarre, odd way for us to differ, I feel, because I really liked the music from Insect, and the beat, and it was a guy behind some tech stuff, but he was engaging with the audience, people getting into the vibe, great. But none of the tracks seemed to have an ending. They just kind of went into kind of a bit of a noise or something, and it wasn't like, and that's over. It's just like something broken. It's like pounding, pounding, pounding. And then the next song, it's like, was that a breakdown in the middle? Like an actual musical breakdown or a technical breakdown?
I really want to like take you to a bunch of the gigs that were my like early to mid 2000s gigging experiences, because they were not the musical sections and they were just those bits. It was just the
That's
knob
fine.
twiddling. Just
That's a bit of kind of the experimental musical knob twiddling and all the kind of, hey, I do occasionally quite like a bit of power noise. I do find that if I'm trying to focus on something, it does give me that extra kind of shuts out the world and really gets me bush on the nail. Like I will regularly go back to Dulce Liquido's Shock Therapy album, for example. But in this case, it's like it just like, but the middle section, like just like slightly after the beginning to slightly before the end of the tracks, excellent. I love them.
It's really funny. I really like that we differ on this stuff, because it's important to differ, and it's important that people like different things, because otherwise life would be really fucking boring. But honestly, I loved that shit, and I really, really loved the intense knob twiddling that made up the destruction of the tracks, and how they deconstructed and then rebuilt as the set went on. I really, really enjoyed that. Um, it was utter filth, and I really like that it went from utterly rhythmic filth to like shambolic, not shambolic because that makes it sound like it's not planned, but I think that way that you go from rhythm to like the deconstructed essence of a track that is just noise. I just thought it was brilliant. Really, really, really
Is
good.
that like when you're at a class, an exercise class, and then they're like, and now we just shake everything out. So that's what you've made that sound like to me. Like,
yes.
Shake it all out. Fall over.
Oh my god, I really, really, you know how you can do rock fit now? Rock fit's totally a thing.
Yeah.
We need to do industrial fit. We've done goth yoga, so that's been done. We ReGN's been over goth yoga for ages. We need to do industrial aerobics now. Archive full of YouTubers. Hey, how you doing, sweet pea? Good to have you with us. It was lovely to see you. However, fleetingly it was at times. But yeah,
I did not get a
so feel
chance to say
free to
hi.
throw in chat
I'm absolutely
whatever
disappointed because every
your
time I saw you,
highlights
you
were
were
of the
wandering off.
weekend. Just wandering off. But yeah, throw in chat what your highlights were of the weekend. We've just hit the first band of Sunday, so go and throw us
After talking about Sunday
your
lunch.
highlights. I was talking about, yeah, we kind of spent quite a lot of time talking about Sunday lunch. Shall we discuss the grabbing of faces?
It was a lot less bitey than the Friday. And grab your face.
Well, they're called grab your face, not bite your face.
Bite my hand.
Although, ooh. Sorry, there was just a really big bang.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Layla, I used to do a drum and bass workout. That was really good fun. And I really recommend that. It was way too high intensity for how broken my body is. Yeah, drum and bass workout was really good. Yeah, grab your face. We got grabbed.
Yep.
There was some
good.
intense grabbing.
This
I
was an
put on my little
odd
highlight
one.
thing. Sorry, Onia.
This is an odd one because out of all of the bands that weekend, I did not speak to anybody who did not enjoy this set. Everybody enjoyed this set, I suppose.
That is because not only is it incredible music, but Marie is a fucking legend. Like, they are just such a sweetheart of a human. Like, they are sweet to the core of their being, but whilst being one of the most righteously angry people.
Especially if
Who
your name is
expresses
Chris.
them, especially if your name is Chris.
Fuck you,
But
Chris.
they express themselves so eloquently in ways that we can all relate to, especially in the fucked ways the world is right now. Yeah, I just, as an act, they are exceptional, and as a human, they are a joy. Basically, that's my summary of Grab Your Face.
I very much enjoyed that high energy. Also, slightly verging on performance art as well for some of it, I think.
Yeah, there's kind of like an element of almost like beat poetry about the way that they deliver their lyrics, which is kind of cool.
Very much beat poetry. Yep, that's the.
Yeah.
And
which,
also,
you know,
shame.
if we reflect on Wen's bins, we know how much I love beat poetry.
And getting the entire audience to shout "fuck you, Chris" to a video that they could send to their friend who wasn't there.
That was.
I was totally disappointed
also,
because I thought that they were actually going to maybe be live calling him on Messenger or something.
I think they actually called Chris.
I thought it was video. Never mind.
No, that was actually a phone call.
Brilliant.
They
That's
said on their
better.
thank you post that they called him. So we've got both Archive Full of YouTubers and the Pufferoo saying that the Grab Your Face was fucking intense and awesome. And yes, agreed. Wholeheartedly.
So there was a bit of a shout out. Grab Your Face did a little tiny bit of a shout out to my friend Mark, who does a whole bunch of collars and cuffs and things. But
yeah, and you got a shout out on their Insta as well.
I was going to show.
You saw that. Oh God, I got a browser window that just opened and it's not in dark mode. Oh God, hate it when that happens. Let me find the post, and I need, if it'll work. I need to find the wording, but is it that one or is it that one? Here we go. So they did a whole big thank you post tagging a whole bunch of beautiful people who've made their weekend awesome. And they said thank you to all the members of the Mark convention, half of them being Scottish. So thank you, Scotland, I guess, for spawning all those decent people. So there you go. That's you, dickhead.
So this, I'll chuck this. What am I missing? Yeah, because there was a whole big group of us. Like everybody was just. It was like it was the Spider-Man meme. Everyone's called Mark.
Oh, okay.
But one of the other ones is making a Grab Your Face custom collar, and has done a whole bunch of custom stuff for Shuffle and Puffin as well. And
yes,
he just seems to do it because he enjoys it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Kuma
I need
collars.
some of his shit. I need this. Need it in my life. It's not just like spiked collars and stuff. He does a lot of he does a lot with like cord as well, which I really like. Yeah.
So this sort of stuff. He was basically walking around the festival with like D rings and the kind of straps and things, and just going, "Oh, here you go, collar for you, cuff for you." Like, "Oh, this is cool. How much do you want for it?" He's like, "That's cool. On you go. Have it." Yeah, there we go.
Clever little bean.
Looks like a puffin.
He was, however, encouraging me to like really grotesquely eat that pancake, that dirty protest pancake. Yeah, see,
Was there
the
a
paracord stuff that he does is really nice.
non-grotesque way to eat that?
That one,
So,
I was
which this
trying to
one?
do it in like I was trying to like privately eat the pancake and just kind of get it away, and he was like, "Go on, get it down, yeah." That's nice, but I just like maybe not so much the coloring of that, but the knotting of it is really lovely. There's also another one that was just below that one that I really like as well. That's not paracord, but has got yeah, that one
Shiny
immediately
ones.
below it. That one, the middle. That is beautiful. Yeah. Delightful.
3
That's the
millimeter
other thing about the weekend.
biothane
There were
with
some
9
lovely
millimeter white
traders there.
biodragon leather. Yeah, traders look good.
The traders
We'll
were
list
really,
them
really good. So
somewhere.
I bought a couple of things. I bought a Cura latex collar
Mhm.
and a um I want to say Devour Couture, maybe Devour Couture. They make awesome PVC shit with like metal hardware basically, and most of it is from horses' bits and horse paraphernalia, and it is fucking lush. So I just posted some pictures today on my socials of the shit that I got. And honestly, I'm so fucking happy with my purchases. They are absolutely incredible. And they were the nicest people. It was so lovely. And I do like nice people. And I think, hey, there we go. It's me looking like an absolute dickhead. Um, Bellend. Um, so yeah, that collar is just lush. And that Cura one is lovely as well. It feels really cute. I know that it's like spiky and shit, but it feels really cute and like petite.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Um,
It's on a different
oh,
post. That's all right.
but yeah, so they're lovely. But the Cura's latex, he uses like quite fine grade latex, so everything feels very kind of delicate and graceful, um, which is really nice. Whereas the other
Mhm.
latex I was wearing at the weekend um, was by Northern Rubber Works, and their stuff is like heavy gauge latex. And I was wearing a really nice harness. I wore a collar by then, but I also wore a harness by then, which I've completely fallen in love with because it's just like that's the collar, my Octogirl collar, which I fucking adore, with a harness which I made a little while ago. Um, but the harness is like really rugged as fuck. And yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really, really pleased with it because I was able to wear it a few
Right
different
there.
ways. Yeah, it's also boned. It's steel boned too, so it's got like a slightly corsety style to it. So yeah,
Mhm.
look at Puffin, what a babe. Yeah, we had some fun, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, Puffin, that
that
stuff is really fragile, sadly, but it's gorgeous.
fan is extremely wafty. It is the
Wafty
most wafty
fan.
fan I've ever seen.
Oh, Fabsy, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to look at the stuff. There was actually stuff on the opposite side of the room that I hadn't even clocked, and so there was clothes there that I missed that I didn't even get to see. I think on the Tan's socials they've got a list somewhere of all the traders because I'm the same. I'd like to have a little look
Find
see and
it.
check them out online. Um, but yeah, I'd agree it would be good to have a little look somewhere. And have a look at their stuff and their things. Yeah, there were clothes. There was someone in the far corner next to where the photo booth was, and they were selling clothes. Curo had some latex clothes as well, but there was some fabric fashion also.
No, I can't find the trader stuff. Just other than
No,
taking bookings.
no, okay. Well, oh, I'm
Oh, and the
really
event
sorry you
got
missed out on that,
completely
Fabsy. That's such a
spammed with.
shame.
The event got completely spammed with fake live stream.
Yeah. their socials really got hit badly with that, which is a real shame. I meant to mention that to Leighton, actually. I don't know who manages their socials. Leighton was an absolute sweetheart. Massive, massive shout out to Leighton. And the other dude, whose name I did not catch, who were looking after us in the accessible area, which is also where the acts were as well. And could not have been lovely. I mean, obviously he's a fucking beaut anyway, but could not have been lovelier because in accessible area, sometimes we need a bit of a hand, whether it's getting us a chair because there's not always chairs around, just making sure we've got what we need, and just making it not be a whole fucking thing that we need help, basically. And yeah, was just completely legendary about the whole thing. Made us not feel weird, not feel like it was exceptional that we needed a special like area just to sit and be safe or whatever. I needed a seat. And were just lovely and friendly and sweet, and also put on a fucking incredible event. From like Sai and Fabzy have both said how well they were treated, and we've chatted to other acts, of course, over the course of the weekend about how exceptionally well they've been looked after, even if they did have a 10 a.m. sound check on the Sunday. Boo.
It was completely
But yeah,
unnecessary at 10 o'clock.
completely unnecessary. But yeah, so just as people who've been doing this for so long, because obviously Tans has been going for a while, Leighton said yesterday that this for him was the smoothest it's ever run. And I
That's
just
good.
think it's so worth shouting out to event organizers. As someone who's been doing stuff myself for so long, never at this scale, but doing gigs and club nights and stuff for donkey's years, there's a lot of work that goes into making people feel like they've got a fun, awesome thing to do, and coordinating acts and stuff. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and at this level, over 3 days, there is so much work that goes into this, and just I have so much love and respect and gratitude to Leighton and the team, both the Tans team and the Corp team as a whole, for how well they just pulled off the whole fucking
I
thing.
mean,
So yeah, cheers,
it's
peeps.
it's enough effort doing like one gig with a couple of bands on the lineup. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and then you're dealing with what was like 7, 8 bands a day, something like that.
yeah.
All the other bits and pieces,
It's a lot.
DJs,
Yeah,
so much effort going into that.
yeah. It's a lot of love. I saw Leighton's step count one day was like 40,000 steps. Just
That's my
for I think it
year.
was the first day of the festival. Yep, that's the whole of 2023. um Oh, 40 hours over the 3 days. Yeah, that's a lot. Even I know we were joking on Friday night about the burger van and how it was a little bit ropey. But that lass was working 16-hour days every single day on her own with no relief. Like, and when even your burger van is working that hard, do you know what I mean? Like, you're in it. It's a lot of work.
Definitely. So we'd kind of hung out with you at the border with the accessible and the I was going to say non-accessible, but that just makes it sound like you can't get into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the main room piece, kind of been going in and seen Insect, hung about with you, got to the front to grab your face, and then they're still hanging about for All the Emptiness, who played Aberdeen last night.
Yeah. Yes. Fucking cool drum kit, mate. That's a bit of
It's
a nasty
it's
little
a
bit. I
yeah, it's a big thing.
It's a big boy. And I was looking at it trying to figure out how bits work, and I was like, is it like microphones? So is it like a contact mic thing that's you hit it and it's trigger? I couldn't figure it out because it wasn't drum pads. That was the thing. But anyway, I wasn't close enough and it was tucked around the corner. But yeah, that was cool. And that was a great set. Really, really good. Love the visuals that he's put together for it with like the lyric videos and stuff. That was really nice. And guess who joined him on stage?
Some lass who never got any credit, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, there was also some lass who never got any credit, and we will never know who she was. Just some lass.
Had a fantastic voice though.
Yeah, beautiful voice. So big up some lass. And Matt.
I think Matt did 4 tracks.
Oh, thank you,
Computer
Si. That
Girl.
was Computer
Thanks,
Girl.
Si.
Thank you very much. That's good to know.
I have
Well,
not
big
heard of
up
Computer
Computer
Girl.
Girl. Beautiful voice.
Oh, as a Bandcamp. We've just missed Bandcamp
Hey.
Friday.
Yeah. Do
There
you
we
wanna
go.
if you got a link, yeah, chuck it in chat. Thank you. So yeah, she sang with For All the Emptiness and was fucking great. She really kicked things up a notch. It was awesome.
Yeah. So the last time that we saw For All Emptiness in Leipzig, there was so they played one of the earlier sets on the Friday, and on Thursday, Jonathan, because everybody was flying in from all over the place,
Yeah.
So Toronto, Portland, London, Jonathan had booked out a venue for doing kind of a band practice. So they had a kind of a run through the set a couple of times, and yes, when we got there, there was an awful lot of time spent putting that drum kit together. It's almost scaffolding, but it's on kind of wheels and just kind of moves about.
Yeah.
And I really, really, when the drummer came on stage and was getting into the middle of it, I just wanted to shout, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Like the whole kind of alien power loader kind of thing going on.
Nice. That would have been like an extra little
I mean,
twist
it's
to the
on wheels,
set.
right? It could just be like, like bolted to his waist, and he could run about the stage with it, giving it.
A bit of dynamic movement during the set.
Yeah, yeah. I did feel bad for him though because he was kind of shoved off because it was such a contraption. He was kind of like
Yeah.
pushed off to the side and dark,
Yeah.
and because he was like wearing black, it was just like this shiny
Yeah.
metal scaffolding around him, and he kind of
Yeah.
faded into the background a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of a shame. But yeah, it was nice to get a chance. Oh, catch you later, Layla. Love you,
Bye
bye.
bye.
It was nice to get a chance to chat with Jonathan on the Friday. He came out for coffee and pie with me and End Transmission because that was really nice because obviously we've been chatting loads online for quite some time.
Well,
And yeah, that and a while, and that was really nice. Before he kind of went into rock star mode, so that was cool. Level, right? I am really
mm,
sad I missed Level. So what I actually ended up doing was I had a tactical costume change on the Sunday. I started the day in short shorts. The afternoon was not going to be short shorts weather, so I went for a tactical costume change. And I still managed to keep my Northern Rubber Works harness on, however, because my this is why it was so versatile and why I fucking fallen in love with that harness so much, because it worked with my giant flappy cowl hoodie as well, which was great.
mm.
Um, so I went and got changed because I knew by that point I would be in so much pain and I'd be so exhausted. I needed to get changed so that I could last through the bit of the day that I wanted to last through. So I was like, I'm going to go and get changed during this bit of the day. And I missed an act who also has a song about bins. Right? What the fuck? So I found this out later. We've connected on socials. He loves my track, which is great. And I'm like, motherfucker, we could have been besties.
I see a number of
Shit.
collabs and remixes in your future.
It's just like the full Tans lineup. Everyone's going to do a remix of When's Bins. But yeah, so Levo sounds like a really cool dude, and I'm not just saying that because he's got a track about bins.
So for the next next on the lineup, I thought I got there a little bit later than I did, but it turned out that I wasn't the only one that missed the intro.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'd had a technical difficulty, but something happened at the beginning of
Something.
that set. Something happened.
Mm, mm,
Si's looking like this around the room. Honestly, I was like, you know, when you just there's some acts, uh you just get like a rush of I say this as a person whose adrenal glands don't actually work, right? You get a rush of adrenaline. um and Psy and Fabsy was that for me. It was just I had a rush of like, oh, these are such lovely people. I'm so proud of them. This is lovely. So I had that as well. It was like weirdo goth mum was proud. But also
Oh,
musically, it was just yes, this is so fucking good. Even if there was a slight wonk on the intro, honestly, it's still hammered from the absolute get go. It was so fucking good. The pair of them raving their little tits off, and the whole room went ape shit, absolutely ape shit. It was so good. So there we
so
go.
other than obviously listening, we listened to the for Future Lied to Us all the way back up the road because I was trying to find the track that sounded a little bit like Firestarter, and then yesterday kind of afternoon evening when I was kind of spinning through stuff, getting set up for doing my set last night. After Psy posted their set list, I constructed a Spotify playlist and have been listening almost exclusively all week to Psy and Fabsy. And playback of the Spotify version of the set, minus the For All the Emptiness guest slot at the end, which is not yet released. So that'll be getting added when it is.
Not even finished. Never mind released.
There was also Matt had been looking for some different styles of stuff recently, and Fabsy dropped a link to Simon's Astral Voyage, I believe is the name of the EP of kind of psytrance style stuff. So that's been on heavy rotation for me this week.
Beautiful. A little bit of afterglow for you. Nice.
Yes, more of that
I
side.
think I think I shared the Psytrance EP when it was released a little while back, with the declaration "unexpected Psytrance in the bagging area."
Yes.
Yeah, that was really good. It's Psytrance.
So
Um,
I'm
yeah,
quite,
fucking
interested
nuts.
because Sai's been producing a lot of stuff for a lot of years, and he's had a lot of projects, a lot of different project names. How many projects have you had, Sai? How many releases
Yeah.
do you actually
How
have?
many plates are you spinning right now?
This is like, oh, I'm listening to this. Like, oh, yes, that's Psych Order, and that one's Psych
Yeah.
Order as well.
Are there any genres that you haven't done? Have you done speed metal?
Have you done any tracks about bins? Would you like
Have
to?
you done any tracks about bins? Don't say that, Sal. Have you do the remix, Bex? Oh god. Oh fucking
Oh,
hell.
need to turn the bot off. It's no longer Friday.
It is no longer Friday. Bad bot. No biscuit for you. The bins require a donk. Oh. Yeah. How so actually given that we have you with us, you precious little beans, how was that from your side of things? Were you vibing as hard as we were, or were you just scrabbling in your mind because you had made that tiny little error that felt probably huge to you, but actually to us we were too busy going, "This is so good," to have even noticed? Um, or like, how did it feel from your side of the desk? Was that set sweet beans or dry beans?
Thing to put in the bin. Crowd amazing.
Oh, I'm
Annoyed
sorry
about
you're
the
annoyed
intro.
about the
Yeah,
intro.
that would be
The intro
something that
sounded really good, even though it was at the end. It sounded
but I
fucking great.
absolutely get that because if I'd had this whole plan in my head as to how everything was going to
Yeah,
go, and then at the front, I'd probably nobody even noticed, but it's in there and it'll stick
yeah,
with me through the whole thing and just be, I would just get really annoyed through
yeah.
whole
I
night.
had a plan. There was a plan. Oh, I'm sorry, Si.
Yeah. You
It
did
was
play
still
it
fucking great though,
just at
dude.
the end.
Oh, I didn't realize that was going to be a little plan for hello. Oh, it was still fucking
I,
great, mind.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was all over that as well. Very much. Everybody I
Yeah,
spoke
there's
to very much
I
enjoyed your
got
set.
I got a couple of crowd shots. Um and people were properly losing their shit. It was really good. I think actually that was the first act where I saw glow sticks in the crowd. People were like, "Right, that's
I've
it.
seen a few.
It's time to
Well,
go."
so it's Fabsy's on stage with her kind of purple glowing pie, as I learned. But there was also somebody off to the side and pointing that way. The side opposite the bar, as was in the room when on the stage dancing, it had some
Yeah.
similar sort of glowing balls.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then there was
Shell's
another
got to go.
guy. Bye, Shell.
She says wonk.
Wonk.
Wonk. Love you, bye. I should probably.
Yeah, but there's it's interesting. There's not as much hardcore cyber goth going about anymore. If that makes sense
Yeah,
at
but
all.
the whole cyber
Oh,
thing
no,
though, like
that
that's
is an
it's.
appropriate
I
Kappa
mean,
Gen.
I love that. Oh, you've restarted the bot, so it's just greeted me again.
That might be the first thing you said all day. Don't know. But yeah, there just seems to be there's not
Oh
less
yeah,
kind of
so
cyber goth genre music. It's just there's less people in the kind of traditional. Is that can I even associate that word with cyber goth in the kind of the UV style glow sticks, the massive fake hair and all that falls
yeah,
and all that sort of shit. It used to like what 10, 15 years ago, like phew, that was it, wall to wall.
yeah. It's pretty dated though as a look, and I think also because it's so vastly mocked and um which is pretty cruel, I think. It's fair to say. Um, but yeah, I think there is actually, in terms of the popularity of the Y2K fashion, though, there is a resurgence.
Oh, I think Charlie's
Is
died.
in our
Oh,
circles, it's dying a death. Am I back?
yeah.
E. So in our circles, it's kind of dying a death because we're all getting old. But younger folk are like, "Hey, there's this Y2K fashion thing, and I found out about crin and hair falls and big stompy boots, and I've been all over fucking Vinted and Depop, and I've just bought all these Cyberdog clothes, and that's fucking great, and that's really really cool." So it is doing a thing again, but it's not the same thing as it was when it was the thing that you remember because we're old now. Oh, yeah.
I think that maybe kind of like I don't know, are we like just like cyber boomers? It was always when you're at a gig and someone's just got massive hair in front of you, and just like every time they turn their head, it's like people would be just it's like when
I
folk used to
mean,
wear wings on a dance
I
floor.
I'm not gonna lie, like you knew me during my massive big booted cyber bitch days, and I literally, I mean, it wasn't even falls that I wore. I braided that shit in my hair, and I had electrical cabling braided into my hair permanently. So it wasn't like oh, I'll just tie this on when I go out. It was like pulling electrical cables out of my pillow in the morning. um and that was an enormous error. Shouldn't have done those things. um, and it was wildly impractical. So I think that's also possibly part of it as well, because everyone's, working in IT. And they're like, I don't want to get my hair confused with this fucking Cat 5, man.
Is it also the people are just like I'm just looking to go out and enjoy the music and not put all the like more like spend spend less time getting ready to go out,
That could
because
be it, but also like I have no energy. I am in so much pain. You would think I'd be the person who wouldn't be getting dressed up to go out, but actually it means so much to me to get dressed up and feel empowered by how I look and feel in control of how I look, and that feels really fucking good. And if that means putting on enormous hair and wildly impractical outfits, you fucking bet your ass I'm going to do that shit because it makes me feel good. So I don't necessarily think that for everyone it's about taking less out of the presentation thing when going out, because I think for a lot of people actually that ownership of how you look is actually a really important part of going out, even for the older folks. She says with her old lady voice.
I'm a very impatient person, as you know. So I could, I prefer the kind of minimal effort type. Just getting out, getting up, going out.
Yeah. Get up, eat a roast, get out the door.
Yep. Yep.
I noticed that Sai said he was a little bit worried about the track with Jonathan just because it was such a curveball in the set. And I totally get that because it was a real energy change. But actually, I think the vibe still worked really, really well. And because you still like just continued the vibe afterwards, I think it still totally worked. And yeah, it was great. And I think as well, because Jonathan had been introduced earlier in the day, it's not like it was just some dude. It was part of that whole the Tans family, like everyone's on
Yeah.
stage with everyone thing. So I think there
Yep.
was a buzz around that. So yeah, that totally worked.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think, Si, you're saying that people weren't necessarily expecting the kind of mix of techno, industrial, and trance, but on the kind of darker techno, darker trance kind of stuff that I'm kind of really getting into at the moment, I feel like a lot of other people in the scene, because it's very adjacent to the kind of the standard stock electro kind of vibe. I think it's really easy to fall into it and realize that you actually really, really like it, and it's your kind of jam. Did you catch Ultrasound? I think they were one of my um, 3 tracks and didn't sit with me.
Yeah, I think I got stuck in my chair during that set, but actually I did enjoy it. They had really, really good energy, man. They were like just exuding really good vibes. Totally wasn't my kind of music, but they just seemed like really wholesome people. And so I just kind of was like, no, actually, I'm going to stick around and like cheer you on.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just seemed like good peeps. So I gave them some.
Were they another one of those bands that picked up right towards the end and just people got really, really more and more into them as the day went on?
They had pretty good energy the whole time. They were quite consistently uppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually built quite well to Frozen Plasma. That was quite a good little lead up.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird though because Cy and Fabsy were so whoa, to go to go to quite soft bleeps from that was a little bit of a wonk. Which I'm a fan of a wonk. I live for the wonk. Um, but that was a definite kind of we are going elsewhere now.
Yeah, I think maybe it was because it was a kind of like curveball coming, well, like musically quite different. Maybe just didn't sit. I'll maybe have to give them another listen.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Yeah, I reckon some of their stuff would definitely land well at VGN nights for sure.
That doesn't mean it's good.
Oh, you are such a bitch. I've been so worried about this stream because you can be such a bitch. I've been like, oh god, how is this gonna go?
But
Oh
I mean,
god.
like I do tend to play stuff that I actually like, or is ridiculous. But I will give them another look.
Yeah.
Is there a Resistance kind of Spotify playlist? You know how every year there's an Infest one?
Yeah, I think there is. I think Electrovox might have done one actually. I'll see if I can dig one out. I can't do that at the same time as this though. Frozen Plasma were definitely not a band I would have sought out at all, because on first listen I can go straight up, this is not a band for me. It is the very soft, bleepy, happy hands in the air, like bleep bloopity bloop boop boop boop, happy
Hmm.
times, kind of sad heart, happy times music. And that just isn't my vibe. It doesn't mean it's not good music, because it was genuinely really, really good. It's
Yeah.
just not for me. But I fucking love that set. I was completely not expecting to, because I was there kind of going, shall I go? Shall I go and get some chips? That kind of thing.
Hmm.
But they were so good. They were so good. Um, and again, really good energy, awesome audience interaction. Um, there was a hilarious bit when the stage got crashed and Matt went on. Um,
Heard about this.
Marie went on. Seraphim System dude went on one by one, and he didn't have a fucking clue who anyone was, and he was like really concerned that like something bad was happening, and it was it just got progressively funnier and funnier. Um, and yeah, it was a really good set. It was honestly, it was really good, really entertaining, really cool.
It's cool because I kind of tapped out of everything after Ultrasun and just went and chilled out with folk and kind of caught up and did with a few folk, including that. And let's see, just the usual reprobates. Um, so I kind of already decided not to bother with Frozen Plasma or Alternate because as we've said a few times, you, you can't do everything. And I just actually my choice is now to do the social side of things and the band side. Um, I'll just pull that kind of quick ripcord and just kind of chill out because also we have an early start in the morning.
Oh god. And that was the bit that fucking killed me, because the two next things I really wanted to catch, I really wanted to catch Alternate, because being like, I mean, I've said before on like various shit when I've been chatting to folk on my streams and stuff, like I grew up with the rave scene and drum and bass scene. That was my kind of like grow up in music kind of thing, glow up in music as it were. From being a young whippersnapper, I got into alternative and goth stuff like in my kind of mid and late teens. But before that, it was all rave and drum and bass. So Alternate were an absolute, I have to fucking see them, because that will be like, baby Charlie will be incredibly happy about this. This will be fucking incredible. And Duracell Bunny is an incredible DJ, and I really wanted to go and support her. Much like the Carcasaurus guys, I was like, I want to be there. I want to like be on that dance floor. That's going to be some awesome music being played, and I also just want to support her anyway. And due to the fact that we had fucking 10 a.m. checkout,
Really 9 a.m. time change.
and yeah, just because of the time change and stuff, and had already had such little sleep, and was already getting ill from the illness that hit me like in later in the week. It was just nope out time, and I was just gutted. I really feel like there was so much of this festival experience that I've missed out on because of just not having energy, and I feel really bad about that, because there's
I think
acts
you
I
did quite
wanted
a
to give
lot
energy to. Yeah.
because as I said earlier, there's like either you can do the start of the
Mm,
day for so long, or you could do kind of later and hit the
yeah.
end. But doing it, if you were to try and be there from like doors at 3 o'clock till
The
3 in the
whole
morning, that's
thing.
12 hours.
You'd be
That's a
fucked. I
phenomenal
mean,
amount of energy
there's
for
ways you
anybody.
can do that, but I don't do those ways. And it's that's not my bag. But
I mean, I would
it's
have really
just,
liked
yeah,
to have seen the biomechanical. Every
set
time
as well. Yeah, I
in
can. I
mechanical
mean,
vein, and it turns out they dropped some really filthy, filthy beats because they
yeah,
got a sneaky peek pre-release from Black,
yeah, that looked
sick remix of Wish
incredible.
by Nin that he dropped on Bandcamp
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. That was another one that just would have been amazing. But yeah, I'm very happy with the festival experience that I had. Don't get me wrong, it was fucking incredible. Like, I've said it at the beginning and I've said it repeatedly all the way through. Like, um, none of this was a bad experience. It's all been fucking exceptional. And I am so grateful to everyone involved who's pulled this together, all the wonderful people that I got to hang out with and chat with, who came to say hi, who came to be all like, oh, hey, you know, you did the entropy thing. I actually had entropy people come and say hello. That was really cool.
Oh,
It was really sweet, you know, just like all that kind of stuff. And like, it was just a proper mix of wholesome party, filth, and just like, it was just lovely. It was a beautiful weekend of escapism and awesome tunes. And I loved it. It was awesome. I just wish I had more beans because there was so much more of that I would have liked to have done, basically.
but there's still only so, there's so much going on. The
Yeah.
social
And
side
like,
of things, there's so many people you want to
yeah.
see. There's the bands, there's eating, there's existing, drinking, all of these things. So you can't do all, and you can only do it for so long.
Psy and Archive full of YouTubers are saying similar things
Yeah,
about like having to, you know, early checkout, so ducking out or going for disco naps during the day so that you can get to the bits you want to go to. You do have to make choices, and sometimes those choices are missing things you do really want to see because there's something you really really want to see at another time, and that's really
yep.
really difficult. But yeah,
It can be really hard to make a choice as well, and you really feel like you're missing out. You get, a huge amount of FOMO if you don't do the things that you kind of want to do, but actually,
oh, the FOMO is
especially
so strong.
especially after you decide you make the decision to skip it, and then everybody's like, "Oh my god, it was really good!
That thing was so fucking good! Oh my god!" Yeah,
I think you decided not to see like a
yeah.
dickhead."
Yeah. Like that Level thing, like I'm genuinely gutted about that because that felt like a really easy choice. Like, oh yeah, sure, okay, so I know I definitely want to see those first three bands because, you know, amazing, and
Yep.
also essentially they're mates. And then, you know, just and obviously I need to be back for Side Fabsy. I have to be back for Side Fabsy. So I will go and get changed and have a little sit down during Level. That makes sense, logical. And now I'm like,
Does.
fuck. But you know, these things happen.
Yep. I mean, the lineup could have more gaps in it, for like more chill out time. But then there's less bands, and then when you've got a festival with
Yeah,
a variety of bands, and they're not all the same, like electro industrial or
yeah,
EDM style, psytrance, whatever the fuck it is, that you can't have them all the same. So you need to have a variety. And unfortunately, you get people like yourself who have a very varied music taste. You're like, I want to go to all of these bands, and all of these bands,
yeah.
and all of these bands.
Sometimes I wish I was really narrow-minded. I only like you. One of those gatekeepers who's like, I only like goth music, and it only has to be this type of goth music, and I don't like anything else, and I will only listen to that. It would make these choices so much simpler.
What's
But
that thing?
no.
It's actually only really goth music if it's from the region of da, da, da.
Yeah. How about you get fucked? There we go.
Otherwise,
That's
it's
that's the
sparkling
clip.
emo.
That's the clip for the stories. And yes, I did have to change into my winter gear. I genuinely, this is a little secret. So, you know, I like to look a little bit stylish. You know, I like to dress up. When I came back on the Sunday evening, I was wearing a cowl hoodie with a latex harness over the top, so I looked like a snazzy bitch. But I was also wearing thermal leggings with another pair of leggings over the top.
So actually,
Oh yeah, I was
Sunday,
an insulated sexy bitch.
Sunday, literally everybody was going, "Oh my god, it's so fucking cold today. Why is it so cold today compared to the other days?"
Yeah, it just and that was
Because
the day it started raining as well.
yeah, by the time we got to the venue, because I was wearing sleeveless, thing, my arms are like freezing. I'm like, "Oh, maybe I'll warm up," and then I'm like, "Oh, no, you won't, because you're not drinking today because you're driving tomorrow. You decided to sack all
Yeah.
that whole thing off. So there's no beer code for you later. Shit." And then when you and Puffin headed back to the accommodation, and she's like, "Can I get you anything?" I'm like, "Yes, bring me my hoodie." So she's like, "Okay." So you both come back, and she's there wearing my hoodie, and like, great, nice and warm. You
Pre-warming
think
it
she had
for
like
you.
multiple layers of hoodies as well going on. So then took it, tied it around my waist, watched a couple of bands, and then going back up the road, I gave it back to her because she was freezing. So like, I ended up just being coat bitch for Puffin for the evening.
Ah,
Like, she
know your
wore my hoodie
place.
down. I carried it around all the evening, and then she wore it back, and I'm like, well, it's fine now, just be freezing and cold.
Sucker. I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's very pleasing. It's not that I revel in your pain or anything, but I absolutely revel in your pain.
Because it was also raining, I got white on the way back up.
Oh, shit.
And then we went to the dodgy little workshop.
Yeah, but you stocked up on Haribo though, didn't you? And the Haribo went in the fridge.
So that
Gotta keep your Haribo cool.
literally putting everything else in the fridge, so it's like, well, this might as well go here, because otherwise I have to find somewhere else to put it. They'll end up with no voice.
Oh, honestly, this week has been rough as shit. And actually, I think that brings us to the fact that I think everyone got sick, right? And apart from you, dickhead, everyone has been ill in one way or another. And that's not been very fun. And we are 2.5 hours into this now. And I am gonna have to tap out because
The
I'm
one
dead.
thing that we haven't spoken about.
Oh shit, what have we
The
missed?
role. Which means
The
what
what?
we missed. That's two things, really.
Oh, your prop. Are you gonna do it? Do it. Oh, the soup! I thought it was something else, but we'll go with the soup. Can we have a chat about soup? Soup.
We can't forget to speak about soup. So last year, on the way back from Sheffield, we detoured past Farrell's house to say hi, because he'd missed out on all the other team catch-ups and things, and he had the audacity to not be home. So we took lots of little videos and a lot of photos, and standing around outside his house and going, oh, I'm looking through his letterbox and various other things, and then never mentioned to him that we'd been there. And then on the Friday night, we did a little kind of, we have a little feature on the stream with can you guess where we are? Where have we been? Where are these photos from? And he was on Discord video, and he's like, nah. And we were like, come on. It's like, looks a bit like my house, but it's the wrong way around. I'm like, that's because it's a selfie. How about now? So this year,
it was the silent that really made it. Yeah.
It was, yeah. So this year, we weren't entirely sure if we would have the beans, because last year sharing driving with Neurocypher, and this year, because we were going, I was just doing all the driving, wasn't sure to have the beans, the weather, didn't know when we were going to get hit on the road. So didn't say, look, stay in, we're going to pop past, because we didn't know if we would or when it was going to be. So we got to Farrell's house. I went and did a little video of the whole thing, but then spotted that he left me a little present on the doorstep. Soup. And this is actually Kinnan's fault.
He knew you were coming. You're so predictable.
Because last year, Kinnan made a comment of like, it looks like you're shouting soup through Farrell's letterbox. So the whole thing has now become about soup.
It's because is the word a euphemism? Is that the word where you say one thing but you mean another? Is that the right thing? Where you're like shouting soup through someone's letterbox is to throw up through their letterbox.
Yes, that's the whole thing. Like that's what him and his mates. Of course, he didn't explain this last year, but he kind of said that's what it looked like I was doing. But yes.
Yeah. So now you have a tin of Baxter soup as a trophy.
Now I do.
For creeping on your friend again. I love that he absolutely knew that you were going to do it again. Like it was so like, yeah, my mate's going to come.
It's quite a low investment.
What's next year going to be though? What's next year going to be?
I don't know. I can't possibly think.
That's the question. Oh, we're going to do it. Ping him like a filthy bitch.
I can't.
Oh.
Turns out that the ones, the terrible blue ones that you videoed me, were missing the fabric lining. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's a whole extra bit that is the lining, and all the inside just wasn't on it. So the ping bit, I'm trying to do a little
Disappointing. So
So
we
basically, the ones in the accommodation were hazardous, and now I get to look like feel like Doctor No.
So we stayed in an apartment, which actually ended up being pretty good, even though it was a bit of a problem at the beginning. But as with any Airbnb, booking.com type place, it comes with its little nuances. So whatever, we had some problems and it was fine. But we were digging through the drawers as you do. And this guy came across the oven gloves, which were these fabulous bright blue silicone gloves, and they made the best noise. And is the sound on? Can people actually hear this?
No, you just have to
Ah,
go and look at it
you'll have
yourself.
to find me. Find me on Insta. Charlie underscore octo underscore girl. Be my friend. I post weird shit, including videos of this guy in his jammies. Um, Pinging these gloves like a filthy bitch. And honestly, it's so good. Oh fucking hell! I could
But
watch
I
this
made
on a
the
loop
decision
for
to get
literally
black
3
ones
days.
because goth.
Because you're a goth. Because you're a fucking goth. Oh, it's so satisfying.
Uh,
The finger ping.
okay.
It's
So
just
I'm
not
thinking
as
of
good
adding
unless you
these.
can do the
Thinking of adding some sort of redeem to the stream, like gloves on mixing, like they're a little bit
nice.
clumpy and I don't know.
Oh, can you imagine trying to like?
Yes,
Oh god, what a nightmare! What an
be something.
absolute freaking nightmare. So, any final thoughts to share
I'm just wondering how
on your
folk in the
Tans
chat found
experience?
that. Did you find it the kind of our experience? You find it interesting? Us just speaking shit about what we've been through. Were you at the festival?
Utter
Did it
shite.
mirror your experience? Does it make you feel like you want to go next year?
Yes, yes, it does. Come and play with us. Be our friends. We like friends. Be like Shell and come and just randomly accost us and shout "wonk" in our faces.
What? What?
Wonk. We really do like it when people do that.
It was just a random shout. She kind of ran up and it was just like, what?
It
Right in
was
your face.
fully like in my face, and I legit had no idea who she was. This is last year's Tans, and she just wonked me right in my face, and it was the first time I'd ever met anyone who'd been watching my streams, um, and I was just delighted. It was so sweet. It was just a lovely thing. So yeah. Yeah, so next year there might be a little green man joining us. Um yeah, might be a
I want
little
to see.
green feral.
I want to. I also don't want to see Farrell in a Zentai suit.
It's not a Zentai suit. It might actually be worse than a Zentai suit. And I mean, we all know what happens with green screen suits, don't we? Especially when they're the size of a child. But we don't need to talk about that today. But yeah, there's enough green screen. Ah, yes. A little VGN festival holiday. Do come and play.
They should do the DJ sets next year, depending on the band list.
Yeah. I'm tempted to go for a more DJ heavy experience next year.
So I was DJing
Yeah,
last night, which was kind of interesting at the end. So I played my set last night, and then went out and played another set again, which was just odd and weird.
literally
And
back
getting
to
to
back
play
DJing.
back to back DJing 2 different nights. Yeah, playing End of the World twice as well, which was interesting. So yeah, we've got a night in a couple of weeks. Me and Neo Cipher, a tiny little. I say tiny little. It's not. It's pretty small little club locally. So if you're about, feel free to pop into that.
Do
Um,
that thing.
it's going to be interesting, I think. The last one we did, which is coming up on 2 years ago for various reasons, um, was very random and a hell of a lot of fun for everybody, I think,
It was
including
really,
the
really
guy
good
doing
fun.
parkour.
The parkour guy. Oh my fucking god. I in all my years of clubbing and running events and also just being a human person, I have never seen someone so excited by the music in a club that they literally ran up a wall. He was like and just boom straight up the wall. It was so good. Yeah, so Flux is I mean, it's parkour approved, you know. It's a great night.
Yeah, Other than that, the only stuff I think we definitely have planned is your regular Friday nights. We don't, well, our regular Fridays, we don't really have any other live stuff. You're not confirmed yet. I've got nothing else on my calendar. I was getting some sniffing
No.
about last night, but my calendar's a bit challenged this year, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to
Book that
consider all
guy.
things.
I'm also, I'm on the books to be changing some stuff in my work situation, which, if that is the case, I will be back streaming again. And the aim is to do a short Friday night warm up before VGM. So you'll get this dickhead before you get that dickhead. Double dickhead. And I'll be back on Sundays as well. So that is the plan, as long as this situation at work gets
Does that
situated.
mean that everybody else will get access to your remotes instead of things you're just keeping to yourself then?
Yeah. So you too can wonk the shit out of channels and stuff. So yeah, that's the plan. This dickhead is going to be back on the internet again.
I think that, where are we at? That's about 2.5 hours after we fixed the sound issues and stuff we've been rambling for.
Yeah.
So if we do edit this down and chuck it on YouTube, there'll probably be a little bit of like it might jump a little bit at the start from can you hear me? Can you hear me? or whatever to
Business.
just going straight in. So
yeah, it'll just be short
sure.
and go. Yeah.
Go.
So yeah, this has been delightful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
It's been really
thanks for
lovely
joining
for
us,
you to
everyone.
actually stick around. And Sign Fabsy, thanks for hanging out in chat. It's been really cool to have you with us and get your perspective from the other side of the experience. Thank you to our other festival buddies for sharing what you loved about TANS as well. And yeah, it's just been really nice to do something a bit different. We love doing these just chatting streams. They're really good fun. And yeah, it's just nice to have something that's a shared experience for us to talk about rather than us just popping on and chatting shit about what we think is is worth talking about. It's nice to have something that we're all involved in. So yeah, love you bitches.
Right. Let's go do shall we do a raid? Yeah, let's
Yeah, let's do
go
a little
and
raid.
see someone that we very, very, very rarely get the chance to raid.
Oh, cool.
Boom. That never happens, does it?
Oh,
Because
the
just the schedule is
boys.
different.
That's
Anyway,
nice.
where am I wanting to click? Right, cool. Anyway, thanks, Charlie. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you Friday nights and the next festivals and things. Bye.
Look after yourselves, dickheads.